wanna play. These 3 words, they're the ones that I live by. With bug eyes, there's nothing that he can't find. We all fly, don't give Buckman the stink eye. Do or die, Schmuel Buckman's an old guy. Schmuel rock and roll, Schmuel rock and roll. Go toe to toe with Buckman, he will eat your freaking soul, no doubt. It's Schmuel rock and roll, it's Schmuel rock and roll, Schmuel rock and roll. We get buck with Buckman, we know you're up to something.
Good evening, everyone. It is Schmuel Buckman. It's Thursday night. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And happy to see you, happy to be here. Looking forward to having Derek come on in a few minutes. And in the meantime, if you could hit the like button, that would be great. Tell your friends and neighbors, subscribe, and we're on a subscribership route. We're trying to get a few more before the end of the month. And oh, look at this, Mr. Panhandler. I've been thrown to the wolves since Dave's return. You were invited, not tonight because Derek was on, but there we go. All right, everybody, hit the like button, and thanks for being here. We've got Mr. Derek Andrew 88 is here. The final boss is here. James Baumer, I like this Schmuel guy, is here. Hey James, Slipping on Ice with James Baumer is the new sensation. Echo Pineapple is here. We went early tonight, so Echo's still awake. All right, and let's see. Why is Baumer here? Baumer loves the pineapple. Panhandler. Young old vibes. Hi, Baumer. Everybody's here to see you, James. No one's here to see me. Shit Show is just fucking kidding. And have we run through the list? Shit Show again. Mike ain't plugged in, Ashley. No, according to my system, I got sound, sweetheart. I got sound. So, let's just check, because I don't believe anybody. Wow, it sounds like I'm streaming from an empty room, which I'm not. But let's get close to the mic and see if we can help that out. Oh, look at that. Oso Mommy is here. So we get Derek coming on in a little bit. Derek will be, kind of want to go from where Derek came from to where Derek is now, and apparently the color of my shirt, it's just interfering with my green screen. This is very, very not happy. Let's go this way, let's go that way. How's that? Is that better? That's it. I needed to check with Karmic and get my my colors coordinated, but unfortunately I didn't do it, and I'm very disappointed because Pat's not going to be here tonight. Huzy Entertainment, a lot of people competing for freshest 6 p.m. slot. Which icon made that a big deal? I did, and then you did, right? You jumped in. Hey! Brandon Deft is here. Check your mic's settings, Schmuel. Brandon is the thing. How's that, Brandon? Any better? Pat's not coming. And here he is. The one and only good-looking man from the West Coast. How is my sound, my friend?
It sounds like you're on the wrong mic.
It's always possible, but we'll give it a shot. And you know what? I'm on the wrong mic. Oh, that's why it sounds like I'm. How's that? Is that better?
That's the one. You
That's
got
the
it.
that's the one. So I'm using the webcam mic. That's what gets me going. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't fuck up all the time. And I just bought a new laptop, and my USB hub keeps making it crash. So
Oh,
there we
sure.
go.
Blame the USB hub. Right. Got it. Yeah, Schmuel. I see
Well,
what you're doing.
if Panhandler was here, I'd blame him. So
Is he coming? Half
I,
half
I, I
face and all?
he's welcome to come, but I thought we would reserve this time for just you and I. And
Sounds gay.
I know, because I figured we'd do like an hour and a half, and see
Oh,
where we go.
why put a time on it? Come on,
But
man.
I'll send
We're
him.
just doing an organic podcast, me and you together, very gaily. Just
Very,
the two of us.
yeah, and
Get
very
to know each other.
and very organic, very organic.
Intimate. It's very intimate, Buckman.
So, I know. Well, you and I like intimate. If you think we're intimate here, wait till we get to Hackamania.
Yeah, baby. Hackamania, use homo code Buckman, like I did.
Buckman. Yep. As far as I know, you're the only person that bought a ticket. And then, of course, you said that. And one of our favorite trolls was like, see, these guys are just handing money to each other. They're just, this is all a scam. So,
Yeah, but you will most likely you won't get your trip paid for, and we're probably just fucking JT out of a good deal. Our bad, my bad.
I'm sure JT has done fine by now. But I was never getting a free trip out of this. I only did it. It was a goof because Tommy Jordan told me, "Hey, just ask Melton for a code," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I asked Melton. Melton gave it to me, and it was weeks later before I found out that there was anything to it. Something about getting 10 people, I think, was the number.
10 to 15. I think he said 10 to 15. So yeah, like he'll probably go to the 15. He's a grifter. We know that motherfucker. He's trying to get every last penny out of the Dabbleverse before he runs off into the sunset with his fat ass. I mean,
he's going to take all that super tip money and go sit on a beach in Fiji.
probably hedonism too, if you want to be honest about it.
I don't picture Patrick as that kind of guy. He doesn't look like he has the energy for that.
He don't look like he has the energy to get it done himself, so he probably has other guys doing it. Just saying, just food for thought. Think about it, folks. Think about it.
So it's what do you call it? These guys are very funny. So so we get to it. I did ask people for questions for you. So I have those, and it looks like a couple of others just came in. So I wanted to check on those.
Nobody cares about Quadfather. What?
None of those. Apparently,
no one cares. No one cares about me.
Apparently, they do, because when I asked the same question about other people, I was going to say a name, and then I realized I probably shouldn't. When I asked other people, I'll get zero response. So,
what's your story? Where did you come up in the Dabbleverse at?
Well, that's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. So, but it goes back way farther than that. So, excuse my cowboy look tonight.
I mean, maybe Australian cowboy. We're going outback. We're going to the Billabong. Other words.
Thank you for that. You're one of the first guys, or one of the few guys, that gets that the hat is an Australian hat and not a cowboy hat. So I appreciate that, Quad.
You're the man from Snowy River.
I spent, yeah. I'm the younger Crocodile Dundee, which is kind of scary, but there you go. So, Quadfather, just to start off, you host a show 4 nights a week, right? On Sundays, you do the Dabbleverse review, and then you do the regular BYB podcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m.
Eastern.
Okay. So while we're on here earlier this evening, I imagine that they'll be off soon if they're not already off. Dabbleverse Live started. and that took over for Who Are These Socials. Uh, How did you feel about that? Did you think they were stealing your Dabbleverse review idea, or is
Well,
that
I
just all
mean,
it
you
took?
call it the Dabbleverse weekly Dabbleverse roundup. I mean, it sounds very similar to Weekly Dabble Review, but hey, anybody can do any show they want in the Dabbleverse. It's I had to chip him when he came up with it, though. It was like, oh, I'm going to stop doing Who Are These Socials, and I'm going to start doing the weekly Dabble roundup. And I was like, what? And that's my show, fucker. But I don't really care. Mine's a membership only stream. It's behind a paywall. You can be a part of BYB if you want, or you can watch Carl's extra once a week show with Blind Mike, which is the same as all the other shows, except for it's got Blind Mike. Guest appearances by Christian Blatt and Adam Bush and all the other people that are on WATP already. Let me guess who's going to be their guest appearance next week. Lucy Typebox and then Jenny Jingles. It is, you know what I mean? It's all good. It's all recycled. It's all the same shit, but Carl does a show. So would I expect all of his shows to kind of have a familiar theme? Sure.
Well, the first two
all good.
weeks they did have the Aussie guy for their inaugural episode, and then they
I know.
had me.
They're playing
for the
games. They're
second
playing
one.
games with
And then,
my heart.
Well, he's smart because he brought in two guys, and then he shifted back to his regular crew.
Exactly. You
So
see it. You see it
that-
for what it is.
that
It's all
you-
good though.
Yeah. So I was thinking, whoa, I didn't really think much about it. I have to be honest and say I don't understand it. Because I thought the Who Are These Socials was their best show, to be honest. It was the one that
You enjoyed that?
I enjoyed it. I liked it. And I don't know what the numbers were because I wasn't paying attention to them. But I don't know. I thought it was different. I thought they brought some new stuff in, not just rehashing the same crap over and over again. And so I was very surprised that they chose to do this.
Yeah, I watched Who Are These Socials just a couple times. It's not my thing, so I wasn't into it. Didn't like it. Don't really. Yeah, I did notice that the numbers. I did look at the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Show me the numbers. But I did see that they didn't nearly have the numbers for Who Are These Socials as they do for their other shows. I assume that was probably part of the decision making for dropping that show and doing a Dabbleverse live. And as you see how good they're doing good on the Dabbleverse live show. So it makes sense. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, as the great Kevin Brennan says, right?
Well, that came from the great Gavin
No.
McGinnis, correct?
No. Kevin Brennan invented that. Thank you very much.
Did he really?
Sure.
Are you serious or are you
Yeah.
kidding around?
No, I never kid. I don't kid.
I always thought that was a Gavin, because that was Gavin's comment to Gino or about Gino.
Someone probably invented that in the year 2. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I mean, some Jewish fellow probably said that back in Jesus' time. I don't know. I don't think anybody in our little vector invented that, honestly.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. I can't do. I'm sorry, my.
You can't do a Shuli?
No,
I'm sorry.
I can, but I need time to get into character. The only one I think I can do default is thank you for calling Lenovo. This is Dennis. How may I help you? So my
Is that Shuli's dad? That's
is
a pretty good
total-
Shuli's dad.
That's my Indian.
It sounded like Shuli's dad. Sorry.
I do love the I do love that though, that they give these, we call Bangalore, and the guy's got names like, Dennis or Derek, and you're like, oh, come on. And one of the companies that I deal with has offshored its department that talks to guys like myself, and they're all in the Philippines, and it's very, very wordy. It's like, you got a quick question, but you got to go through 5 minutes of, And how are you today? May I help you? And how is the weather where you are? And that's my new thing with programs and AI that are like, oh, get right on that for you. It's like I'm asking you a question. You're a machine. You're not my friend. You know. But
No, I
there we
agree.
go.
Yeah, small talk, chit chat with the AI system is infuriating. Agreed.
It it really is, and I have to deal with it way too much. So I know we're not a clip show, but I want to put this up because I see Mr. Hughes is in the chat, and I
Who?
need Mr. Hughes.
Never heard of her.
Oh, the
Sounds
gentleman
gay though. Sounds very gay.
from Belfast, Northern Ireland, uh, not related to Dean Galloway of Perth, Australia. So what do you call it? But this is I was watching Huzy today a little bit, and I noticed that Huzy has something that he does, which will go back to our little show comment. So let me put it up and let me see if I can get it working, which is always iffy.
I'll say this.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I was kind of nervous about going live at this time of day, but we currently have 120 watching. So if we could get half of 120, obviously is 60. That I didn't have to type that on the computer to find out. I knew straight away. So we could get 60 likes. Then it means I could do my vulgar comment to
Just put that in to remind everyone to hit the like button.
me about adding 9. But speaking of which,
Ghost Crusaders TV, thanks for the 2. Haley, hubba hubba, thanks for the 2.
nice. Thank you, Ghost Crusader. They are, I have to say, not to be a creep, but you bitches in the men's Dabbleverse are actually some pretty good looking dames. So good for you.
I'm not as good as NJ Ranger.
No, I mean the chat there.
Oh, Moon Crickets.
All right.
And you can literally open up your database. Lemmy?
In fact, yes.
Tell me I
And then
missed it.
some.
Oh,
I felt bad for
I
Huzy
heard
today,
it was
'cause,
only around 12, which
these-
Stevie made.
Because he had to do
Which
with women. I know
Omar
what you
gals
calls it
were
50.
not playing off each other very
Which is
well.
the same excuse that Epstein gave about some of the
Individually,
girls in
they're
his files.
great,
Is, I thought they
but
were 50. Turns out they were
I am
9.
speaking over it.
Lemmy?
Oh my God! I thought
Send
I
Ray
timed it.
DeVito the link.
Thanks for fucking Ray.
I think I might have
Times.
missed it.
But sort of just one more thing about the SJ and AATP stuff.
here
So
we
this Friday, the time of recording, is Stuttering John's doing a live stand-up show. I'm laughing already. I can't even times. But sort of just one more thing about the SJ and AATP stuff. So this Friday, the time of recording, is Stuttering John's doing a live stand-up show. I'm laughing already. I can't even imagine the jokes he's going to steal. So the plan right now is for people like Brennan and AATP, maybe not Shuley, but they're going to send people.
And I fucked up. So let me go back to where I should have gone in the first place.
Well, I see
People
why
can
you
watch
don't
whatever
do
they
a
want to watch. It would be.
clip
You may be completely right, though. I mean, I've never sat down to chart out people's schedules and when.
Here we go. I'm sorry. I put in 15:31 and it was 14:31.
Seems like at times the big shows are.
So this is what I love about Huzy is he has an idea, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but he has an idea and he has a question, and what he does is he always blames it on somebody else. So usually it's me, but I noticed he likes to do it to one other guy too. So let's see if we can get that to run here. And of course, spin, 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 spin. Ah, God damn it. And I've got fantastic internet. All right, let's give it a shot. In any event, So what Huzy does is Huzy has this idea that the bigger shows are plotting against the smaller shows.
They
We'll have
are. That's
we'll
why.
have this. So well, he's convinced of it, but he doesn't want to come out and say it. But in every show, he brings up, I was having this conversation with Buckman, and we were talking about these shows. The bigger shows trying to squash the smaller shows. Is that what's going on here? Buckman,
Do you have
what
hold on? Do you have conversations with Huzy?
Buckman, what do you say on DM, not on not on the phone, not like Dave Sarah and I do.
So, yeah, you guys have 4-hour conversations, but so you guys have DM conversations that are like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph.
Yeah,
and
they can
Huzy?
they can tend to go on. He's not a guy that
Oh
sleeps.
boy!
He's not a guy that sleeps late. But so he does that to me
Thanks
all
for
the
the
time.
warning. I'll make
and
sure I stay out of
today-
your DMs.
Yeah, today I'm watching the show, and I'm like, he's like he wants to bring up the same point, but he can't just say, this is something that I thought of or I wanted to say. It's like, I was having this conversation with Dan from NPS, and these bigger shows were smashing the smaller shows. And it's every time Huzy gets an idea or has a feeling about something, it could even be clip shows, he will blame that on someone else. But the point is, do you think that these bigger shows are going after shows like yours?
Yeah, absolutely. They go after all the shows, but I don't think it's a detriment. Like I just think that any conversation, any back and forth is it's helpful to. I don't know if it's probably more helpful to the smaller shows that the bigger shows make fun of the smaller shows. We got a weird little universe here, and as we all know, like no, like anytime people are talking about anybody, it's a positive. Like there's no bad media. You know what I mean? The old Howard Stern saying.
Right. No, any press is good press.
Thank you.
Or
Yeah,
there's
I
no
was
bad
blowing
press.
that there horribly,
Right.
but yeah, no press is bad press. Therefore, I think it's the same in our universe that anytime someone brings you up, it's a positive. Even if Kevin Brennan's like, this is unwatchable, this is unsnipeable, which he was saying about our show last Friday when you were on. Because he was sniping us and he was saying that this is unsnipeable. This is the worst thing I've ever watched. And at the end of the day, I still think that's a net positive. So I don't even really care. Bring it on, Carl. Bring it on. Any of you punks.
And he watched
bring
it for a good 35 minutes or so, right?
Right. He's obsessed with us.
That's the funny part of it. But I think what Huzy's talking about more than that, like, of course you want to be brought up on bigger shows, but he's convinced that they schedule shows just to fuck with smaller shows. And I've heard that from other people as well. Do you think that, or do you think they just don't give a shit?
I don't think they give a shit because I've seen Melton turn his shit on when Tuki's on or whatever, like, and those guys would not want to schedule up against each other, which that makes sense. I've seen, like, some days I'll have that feeling like, oh, he's picking on me because he went live at my time, and it's like, well, he did a 7-hour fucking show and it just happened to overlap with my time. Or like this week, Melton went. I seem to have like the same viewer base as Melton, more so than any of the other shows. And he went live Tuesday and Thursday, 2 weeks in a row. So like, yeah, sometimes I'll be like, oh, he's picking on me. And then the next week he'll go Tuesday and Thursday and totally miss my shows. Therefore, it was all in my mind to begin with. Right. So I think we think more about that stuff than they do. I don't think they really care. They just do their show.
I think so too. Do you think about other smaller shows if you're going to do something? But you're on such a schedule, on a rigid schedule.
Yeah,
It would be
exactly.
basically-
I don't have to think about it. I'm set. I think that was kind of a reasoning too. I mean, it's 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. It's kind of in between everybody's evening times that makes sense for good viewership. So I just picked the time I thought made sense and I've stuck with it. So people can depend on me being there. You know,
I look. I'm a firm believer in consistency is important. That
if I'm nothing else, I'm consistent.
I know from having met Moody before I streamed, I heard him talk about the important things were your audio consistency. There was something else, but I don't. Oh, content. Let's not forget content. But you needed content, you needed audio, but consistency was one of the things that helped people the most, and I've tried to stick with that. And I have watched people like a Rob Saul kind of guy. Like, I think he would have developed an audience if he just was on at the same time all the time and people could rely on it. But it was very like catch as catch can, and he would leave himself open to just getting bashed.
It's a hobby for that guy too. So like he has a full-time job. Like how much effort does he want to put into it? So that kind of makes a lot more sense for people that have full-time jobs and careers or whatever. I understand that, in their free time, they're doing a show. So,
well, I do too, but then you can't complain that, you're not getting super tips or super chats, right? That was a big Rob Saul thing. He complained a lot.
He didn't do too bad. I mean, considering I know that he got a lot of shine from the Stuttering John audience or the hater audience, however you want to put it. He got the hate audience, but they sent him super chats. Almost every time I watched, he was doing well with super chats.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't think so. I know that he came after me because I had super tips, which is supertip.gg/Buckman. Feel free.
Were you talking about the super tip, or were you talking about the amount of money he was making?
Well, he was annoyed at not having the super tip, number one, and number two, he was annoyed at the amount of money he was making on super chats.
Well, all he had to do was get super tip, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, but they wouldn't give it to him at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I think he'd been offered it, and he turned it down, and then he talked shit about Melton. And then when he saw it was like a good idea, he went back.
No one's ever done that before.
And that was by the time, right, but they had gone through a thing where they were giving it out, and then they stopped giving it out, unless you were a really big show.
Yeah, okay, I do remember that period where they paused it for a minute because I think they were going to launch the way it is now. There was like a month or two they weren't giving it out.
Yeah, and now it's like everybody's got it,
Yeah. Well, they knew they were going to launch the part where you could just go sign up for it and get it yourself and download it and do it, add it to your OBS, do it all yourself.
Yeah, I'm still using EVMux because of the first we couldn't get it to work with StreamYard, and I had Annie losing her mind trying to get it going, so we went from there. All right, enough of that bullshit. But you're of the opinion that they just do whatever they're going to do, and then that moves on, that they're not. There's no cabal of big shows sitting around going, oh, we're going to fuck this guy or we're going to fuck that guy.
I mean, yeah, that's a loaded question. Yeah, I mean, you're just trying to make me guess at whether the big guys even think about us during the day. I guess it's possible. I do think they actually watch a lot more than they say, and I think that's consistently annoying that the bigger shows pretend like we don't exist, or the only time they ever see anything we do is if we get clipped. I think there's more to it than that. Do I think they schedule their shows around us? Probably not.
Yeah, I have to say, I do enjoy it when I'm, watch your show or NJ Ranger or something like that, and they'll go, oh, I never watched these shows, but then can give you timestamps off the top of their head when every little thing happens, and he said this and he said that. Chad's a big one for that. Chad, he doesn't watch anything, but somehow he knows everything.
Yeah.
With
NJ Ranger busted him on their little back and forth on MLC. He nailed it. I did the same thing when I went up against Chad the first time we were ever on a podcast together, which was our argument. It was almost identical to what like NJ Ranger had, except for I didn't really have like a clip to pull up to prove my point, but that he took something down while I was watching it. But like he said, I don't even know who you are, and then he named off like 5 things that I was involved in, knew my name. Like it was so dumb and obvious. But he pretty much repeated that with NGA Ranger. So it was like he's like a very low IQ person. So he doesn't even catch that he's giving up the game like immediately like that.
I get that as well. I get the I don't even know who you are, but boy, you sure do. You sure seem to when you're talking about me. But there we go. But my usual arguments are with sort of the same people all the time. The Chad, the Genos, the Joey C's. Joey C is my favorite though, because he's the easiest button to push. And I get him. He's currently calling my mother a rat. Where that's where we left Joey C this week, but the President Joey C, which I don't really get. Let's talk about this. So your show has become, you talk about Chad, and I had some questions about like people asked me to ask you about like the Mersh and Chad thing and your phone call, which we can get to in a minute, but the BYB has kind of become known as a show for ambushes. Is that intentional, or do you like the drama, or does it just happen?
Everybody likes the drama. Most of it is just organic. I set JMO up with the Penny in the Dork thing. Obviously, I just ambushed John with Tukey. Whatever. It's kind of a mixture. It's a mixed bag, but of course, everybody in the Dabbleverse likes drama. I'm trying to entertain. I'm trying to entertain myself and everybody else. So, do I like it? Sure. Makes my job easier when I can sit there and watch people argue for an hour and just have a laugh about it. I don't really care. That kind of stuff I enjoy. So.
But you were really into the John thing. You were vocalizing a lot during that.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
you think?
Of course. Yeah. No, I thought it was going to be so lopsided. Like I told J-Bo, I told the whole crew before the show started, I said, our job tonight is to keep John on as long as possible. You know what I mean? Because we all had assumed the second Tukey popped on screen, John was gone. So our job, and you saw what I was doing. I was, they call it ball washing. I guess that's what I was doing to John, just trying to like get him, some, whatever. Just trying to make him feel like somebody was on his side on the screen and like keep him there. Because I assumed, like I said, I thought he was going to be on for seconds, and he ended up staying on there for about 8 minutes, I think. So, at the end of the day, I think we did our job.
He did. John did the best impression of a beanbag chair I've ever seen. He just sat there, and
he stayed and took it.
Well, I think he was more like he was shell shocked and didn't know what to do.
Of course, he was going to be shell shocked. Yeah, he might have been stunned, or he obviously. Do you think he won by just staying there? I know a lot of people have said that at this point, that he won just by not leaving. Is that how you saw it too?
It's hard for me to see John as winning anything. He just came across to me as like the drunk who just he sat there. He was getting abused. He just didn't know how to respond. And that's how he sat there. But at the same time, the way Tukey came in or Rocco came in on fire like that, what could he have done? Right? There was no other whether it was accidental or on purpose, his reaction was the best reaction he could have had given that set of circumstances.
Instead of trying to, yeah, I mean, Rocco's funny and he's quick. So if John tries to come back, Rocco's probably just going to have like 30 fucking retorts instantly, you know, like rapid fire, pop, pop, pop. I'm guessing that's how, what, you know, like making fun of him for being a puppet guy, hiding behind a puppet. Like there were jokes to be made there, and maybe John tries to make light of the situation and lightly does jokes and doesn't like go at the throat. But we already know John's fine with going at the throat, so you can't really go with that. You know what I mean? Because we all know he's very willing to go after family or talk shit about people as well. So even if he tried like that method, it doesn't probably play.
See, what's your view of the family stuff, with specifically with John? Do you think that these guys go after his family, or do you think that he brought it on himself, or
yeah, that's hard, man.
Should be left alone?
Because he was a celebrity, and I don't know how on the forefront of his celebrity that he brought the kids into. That's a touchy one, man. That's hard to say, but I guarantee Shuley brought up like your family first. You know what I mean? I do think that happened. So do I have a little bit of sympathy for John in that situation? Yeah, you know, it's touchy, but at this point, once you go there, the ship has sailed, and John has been willing to bring up people's families and shit like that. So he's not innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with the first blood thing, but because I really think I heard Carl originally call his kids losers, but I always thought what he meant was they're losers because you're their dad. You know, not that they're losers, but look, John went after. He bit. That's the problem, right? He was trolled and he bit. But it is sort of the longest running troll in the history of trolling, right? Or the most profitable, I would say.
John?
The whole Stuttering John, Shuley, Carl, the Dabbleverse. How many universes have been created around one guy being trolled like this?
That I don't know.
It just doesn't seem likely. And you know, and you look at like Steel Toe, you could try, but he can go and it'll be effective for a while, but it doesn't have staying power, right? And the John thing has just been going on for years and years. And here's our friend Nice Guy Mersh. Howdy. I know he's a buddy of yours. How did you guys start beefing?
I guess that's pretty much on me. Whatever. I was aware of Mersh, and I'd always seen him as a lol cow, which is pretty much the correct way to see him. I don't know. I just seen him hanging around on Twitter, and it popped in my head one day. I was like, I wonder if I could get Mersh on. Maybe I could get that was an absolute ambush plan from the very, very beginning. I could care less if he got upset about it or not. So the second I came up with it, I got him to agree to come on the show, and I got a hold of Melton, and I gave Melton the first whack at it. I said, do you want to come on the show if I can get Mersh on? And he declined. He said, if I do a show with Mersh, I'll definitely want him to be aware of what's going to happen. At that point, me and Jesse PS from Pod Awful, we'd had been on maybe 3 or 4 shows together at that point. I think we pretty much run the course for that continuing. But, you know, I got a hold of Jesse, and I said, well, do you want a shot at this? It's internet history going to be made either way, however he reacts. And just like with the John situation, we'd always assumed that, Mersh would do the same thing. He would just leave immediately. And that is exactly what ended up happening. And still, I stood there looking like a douchebag with my hand, my dick in my hand, because Jesse pulled a quick, fast one and just said, "Fuck you, your show sucks." And it was like, "Damn you, you son of a bitch." She got me. It was pretty funny though. I just think all this shit's a joke, so I don't take any of it seriously. Mersh got very, very offended, though, that I would dare do something like that to the great Mersh, Queen Mersh, So he's been offended. He got offended, and he's been offended ever since. And I assume that's probably how it would have gone. I thought maybe he would get a chuckle out of it. I don't really care either way, but I had fun. That's what matters at the end of the day. I get to entertain myself. There's another piece of lore for whatever the sector and the Dabbleverse. Maybe that was the first step of him coming into the Dabbleverse, because before that, I think he talked to Jesse P.S. had talked to Ethan Ralph about destroying the Dabbleverse or whatever. So they'd been trying to drag the sector into the Dabbleverse, I suppose.
So, well, the sector seems like it's dead, right?
I mean, it's pretty much Ethan Ralph, right? It's very limited.
Yeah, I don't know much. I have to be honest with you. I don't know much about the sector, because it was to me a bunch of like right wing troll guys that weren't very smart, but thought they were, and
Yeah.
it was sort of hard to listen to, and their fights. I do like how they've all abandoned their idol, the Donald, though.
Well,
He's gone from our Lord and Savior to they're hiding him on Jeffrey Epstein's lists.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how political we don't want to get tonight, but yeah, I mean, I have my own thoughts. It is what it is. I was more sold on Donald Trump the first term. I think at this point, I don't know. I like some of the things he's doing, but it's tough, man, when half the country melts down just from bringing his name up. There's a lot of obstruction, I would say, going on. So it doesn't make it difficult for him to get stuff done. Yeah. The Jeffrey Epstein stuff, I mean, it is kind of wild, man. When you make promises and then you don't deliver, expect your base to be a little pissed off about it. So when he just doesn't release the list unredacted like he said he was going to do, you're gonna get some fucking you're gonna get some fire. You're gonna get some flames, some people pissed off, and that's where he's at. He's doing some good stuff though. Whatever.
But look, no investigation should release unredacted paperwork. Because
there's victims in there.
Especially with that. Well, it's not only victims, but every fucking lunatic on the planet has, their neighbor going to Epstein Island, and you just don't need all those names out there of innocents, not even victims, just innocent people.
Yeah, do I think Whoopi Goldberg was going to the island and drinking what I won't say bad stuff, but YouTube's terms of service? Yeah, I mean, what? Just because your name's on the list doesn't. Just same with Donald Trump, same with Whoopi Goldberg, same with Whitney Cummings, Kevin Brennan. Do I think any of them were involved in nefarious stuff? Probably not. But
well, you did pick the one person that I would think would go there and drink the blood of Christian children.
Kevin Brennan. Oh no.
Good old Whoopi. She just keeps going. She just keeps going. AB, right wing trolls who aren't very smart. Quad. Now you were a what do you call it? You were a Gavin McInnes guy, right? Isn't that how you sort of came into this?
Yep.
All right, and so that's kind of uber right wing.
Depends on your definition of it, I suppose.
Well, he is Proud Boy, right? I don't have a problem talking politics if you don't. But if we don't want to go there,
founded
that's fine
yes. I mean, are you? Is this a spy report that Gavin McInnes started the Proud Boys? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
Yes,
if you're
he-
looking, I'm looking for his right wing bona fides. That's right.
I'm down. I'm down to clown. I love the Proud Boys. I like what they do. I think it was an answer to Antifa, which is out there on the streets punching old ladies in the face, and I don't think that's cool. I think they're an absolute insane group of people that are out there on the street abusing people because they're not getting their way. It was insane, but we're going back to a time where people's reaction to Donald Trump was way over the top. It still is. Like Trump derangement syndrome is an actual thing. Like 30 to 40% of the population, you just say the name Trump and they have a meltdown. So is it do you think it's a thing? It is, right?
But how did we go from Ben Ratner lacking
Getting laid?
lacking masculinity and never having been laid to guys walking through the house, through Congress? I mean, that's where I always try to figure out that link. I don't really get it. It's just like Gavin seemed to draw in these crazy the right wingers, which I think are just equivalent to the same old left winger Antifa guys. Like they seem to coalesce around Gavin.
Right. So in any group you start, you're going to gather psychos. They're going to show up. If you got I don't want to out the group you're in, but even something like that. All right, let me back it up. The whole Ben Ratner thing. So they're trying to get the guy laid. Proud of your boy. They finally got him laid. There's a bunch of people that go and have beers. They're a drinking club. Somehow got enough political force to end up at Capitol Hill on January 6th. And there was only probably 200 or less Proud Boys at that event. So just keep that in mind when you're saying, like, as if the Proud Boys were in control of breaking into the Capitol on January 6th. That's not what happened. I know that seems like what the news is trying to make it sound like it is, but that's not what happened. Do I agree with what happened that day? No, but it can't change it now. Are those people treasonous? Do they deserve to be like capital punishment? Probably not. Like just being stuck in that DC jail for months on end, isn't that punishment enough? Probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's typical America, right? Where you can fuck with people's income, and you can do anything you want, but don't fuck with the government, because they're in control, and they're going to get you, and I don't think that many Republicans were fighting for those guys in the DC jails or whatever. I don't think they gave a shit either.
Very few.
They didn't want to stand.
There was a handful of them, though.
Yeah, obviously, but there's always a handful. Speaking of which, I got a text message today from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yes, telling me that she was just a bartender once.
She was just a bartender in New York City, right? She totally didn't grow up in a wealthy ass neighborhood outside of her district where she's a congresswoman from now. All good though.
She, what do you call it? She was a bartender at the coffee shop, a place I used to go to. Not that I knew that that was her.
What did you
Quad.
think of her booty?
Proud,
Did she have a
Proud
nice?
Boys was a men's drinking club. I just remember all of the bartenders at that place, the female bartenders, being attractive.
Juicy Latina booties, would you say?
Nah, very varied, varied, different ethnicities of attractive. But yeah, she's definitely she is attractive, and I used to live in her district, so got to meet her once as she was doing like canvassing or whatever. Really well spoken, and actually, like, if you didn't know she was a commie, Nice person. You know, personally, what do they call it? Personally magnetic. So,
Animal magnetism kind of attraction.
dude, I don't know. I think she's what do you call it? She's definitely positioning herself to for higher office.
Your camera's positioning itself for something too.
It's on moving.
Oh
It's
no.
It's following my face. I have to use my my little Osmo Pocket 3 because my stream cam keeps crashing my computer. Young old vibes. Quad wasted his white privilege.
So true.
She's not a commie. She criticized Trump for not overthrowing Maduro. You got me on that one.
Her policies are commie as they get, is what it is.
Look, she took what was an unexpected victory and turned it into gold. And, you know, it happens a lot in politics. I mean, she won, I think maybe less than 20% of the people who could have voted in that election voted that she originally won. But I will tell you, living in that neighborhood and working in that neighborhood, her people were out every single day. And if it was name recognition, you're going to do it. And Joe Crowley was a guy, he just had all the money. And he thought he had all the, you know, union support, and he thought he had everything tied up. And the guy lives in D.C., and we never saw him. So, boom, there you go. And Terry Nee, AOC was a leftist lottery plant.
Yeah, they literally were interviewing people to see who they wanted to run in that district, and I think she won their little lottery or interview system that they set up, and she ended up being the face of it. And like you said, she got the opportunity, and boy, did she run with it. She did well. So,
but that's happened. Look, that is New York City. That is New York City politics. That's Mondami living in an apartment in Astoria. It's Tiffany Caban. Also living in Sunnyside. It is, you know, while I'm telling you, while the right-wing trolls are out having a drinking club and, you know, discussing how horrible everything is, these guys on the left are sitting out making plans and slowly taking over. And it doesn't require a lot of money, but, you know, there we go. So I do like Sam Bibley here. There are free podcasts by people who are actually experts in politics, and we listen to those. You guys talk DV drama. That's what we're here for. You know, I absolutely, I'm not going to argue that, but we kind of do need to. We want to go how did Quad get into this, and where did it come from, and so that's we're starting.
Yeah, so back in 2005, I used to watch Red Eye religiously, like every night, but mostly when I came home from the bar at midnight, and Gavin McInnes and Anthony Cumia were on Red Eye, and that's kind of where I was introduced to them. I found O&A or whatever. I found what Gavin McInnes was up to, so I ended up at Compound at some point and started watching Compound, and then during the pandemic, I really leaned into only watching like Compound and Censored, or that's how I kind of slowly fell into the Dabbleverse all of a sudden, because this guy named Gina Bisconte was talking about Kevin Brennan this and whatever. So I started hearing about those kinds of things, and that's about as quick as I can summarize my boring falling into the Dabbleverse. There it is.
Gotcha. I'm going to put up Drunken Donuts here. That has nothing to do with it, Buckman. It's the deterioration of the public school system that is created their base. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, I do know about the public school system. So I've been in business about 25 years, and I used to hire high school kids during the summer. And in the beginning, every high school kid I knew by what grade they were in, how much they knew, like math-wise and things like that. Now, they graduate from high school. They could have 2 years of community college, and they can't figure out what 30% of 100 is. So,
right.
But they do know that Christopher Columbus was a rapist. or racist.
Right. Yeah, they're learning the social justice version of the things they should be learning, which we should only be focusing on whatever, math, English, very simple, straightforward, civics.
All right. Well, now that we solved the world's problems, right? So you go from you're at Compound. How do you, and then BYB evolves into what? That was you. Was it Stancil? Was it Ski Mask and those guys?
Jim Grindle, who I had on Monday, he did the FGTZ show back early on, and I guess we all kind of figured out who each other were from calling into Compound and just recognizing each other's voices. We bumped into each other on Twitter. They ended up messaging me. I went on their show. And a few months later, I decided I was going to start doing my own thing and moved off and haven't stopped since. So that's pretty much it.
But
Gino Visconti. Can you believe Gino Visconti brought us to the Dabbleverse?
Gino Visconti wouldn't believe he brought you to the Dabbleverse. Terry Nee, 4108, $2. Schmuel has lived in a fishbowl. No. I've been watching the fishbowl, but I haven't lived there. So wait. So you were with those guys for how long? Like BYB podcast
Months.
started
Couple months.
originally, and it was just a few months long?
Say that again.
So you got into podcasting, right? You were in it with Stancil. You were in it with
No, Jim Grindle and those guys. Just
Jim
for a
Grindle.
couple months.
Okay.
From like October to December, like short period of time.
That's very funny. Connor Swim for $5. Can you explain why the courts had to intervene to stop you from working with children? Is that
That's
for
a loaded
you?
question.
Is that for you or for me? That's like, when did
You.
you stop beating your wife? Thank you, Connor. We'll take that one under advisement and answer it later. So Grindle was back, right, on your show the other night?
Monday. Yeah.
All right. So then, all right. So tell me what happens, because what I remember is, I remember you, Stevie Lou, Sad Chad. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, Stevie Lou, he's on East Side Dave show on Compound. That's where I first saw him. But yeah, I just asked him to come on the podcast one time. I was pretty much trying to get anybody that was involved with Compound or the Dabbleverse as guests. So he made perfect sense at that point.
And but what happened? Like, what was this is what I don't understand is, it's like, it seemed to me like you guys, everybody was friends, everybody was happy, getting along. I remember your show. I remember BYB podcast being like, for me, like ADD. You know, there were so many people on, there were so many people talking, and then it was like slowly everybody just disappeared, right? And you got sort of a new crew.
I mean, pretty much in the beginning, it was just, all the boxes were filled up and it was like a drinking show. I didn't really give it was a hang, you know what I mean? More than a show. I wouldn't even call it a show in the beginning, really. It was a mess. Very low effort. It just, like I said, the few times we could get guests on, it usually was, like 9 people on screen yelling at the guests, hey this, hey that, do you remember this, hey, asking 5 questions at one time. So yeah, it was a little overwhelming, but like I said, it was only intended to be like a hangout in the first place. Hang out with people from Compound. That's more or less what it was. I would even consider BYB kind of like a in hot water wrap-up show or something like that. Maybe even just a Compound Media wrap-up show. I was never really involved with Sad Chad. I went on there a couple times because Ski Mask wanted me to come on as a guest, but it wasn't necessarily like my gig. That was Stevie Lou, I think, was part of it more than anything. Kevin Dumbfuck, Stevie Lou, Stancil, like that.
And all right, so Stevie Lou has basically stuck around, right? I mean, Stancil, shouts from the stands every now and then.
Right.
Grindle.
Yeah, I mean, so about the same time that Stevie Lou started being like, he agreed that he would be like a consistent co-host to BYB.
Uh-huh.
About the same time, Kevin started having him on as a consistent guest. So that is part of the thing too. Kevin used to shout out BYB on Stevie Lou's behalf, which was helpful. Yeah.
So did Kevin steal Stevie Lou from you guys? Is that?
I wouldn't say it that way. No, because Stevie Lou was pretty much on BYB up until we had the Stuttering John fallout. Like Stuttering John came on, and that seemed to be kind of the end of Stevie Lou for BYB.
Tell me about that. What happened?
Okay, so like at the end of that episode where Stuttering John came on, he argued with everybody. He was plastered drunk. And then at the very end, Stevie Lou was like sticking up for Kate Meany. He was like, "Oh, you guys need to do like apologize to Kate Meany or I walk." And we were like, you know, it was just kind of a goof, but it was like, all right, we're not apologizing. Fuck off and don't come back. And he left and really never came back. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then it escalated, right? Like there's
And not really
doxing.
everything. No, everybody was cool. He just had moved on, but nobody really cared. It wasn't like the end of what we had considered like everybody getting along and doing our thing. It was a couple months later, Stevie Lou decided to go on air and start talking personal shit. And then that's kind of the end of it. Everything was cool up to that point, behind the scenes.
Okay, because I mean, Stevie basically says that other people were talking shit about him.
Ski Mask, the Ski Mask and Stancil crew.
They were talking personal shit about Stevie.
I don't know what. I had nothing to do with that. The main thing, Stevie Lou was really pissed that we didn't like stick up for him and tell the Ski Mask crew to fuck off. I think me and Lemmy were still going on Ski Mask show, and that annoyed Stevie Lou. Like he thought we were stabbing him in the back by going on Ski Mask channel still and supporting him. He thought we would like stick up for him and stop going on there.
All right, so I apologize. I don't know this, and I'm assuming that there are other people that don't know it. That's why I'm asking the questions, right? So it's like we know the names. So we know Stancil, we know Ski Mask, we know all those things, and they were part of your. So initially, you guys were all part of it with Stevie Lou, right? And now, however many years later, everybody's pissed off at everybody else. So
yeah, it's slowly ramped up. I'm sure of that.
When I went on your show months ago, it was like I was getting DMs that were telling me just you were awful, you were horrible. The other day when I was on your show, Stevie was sending me DMs saying that that's not the way it started. You know, that you guys, I'll use John's word, that you guys drew first blood.
Okay.
And you just disagree with that? Is that basically the?
I really don't. I don't even know what his take on it is. I would assume Lemmy would back me up on that. That's pretty much how it went. As far as like we were going on Ski Mask, and then he just fucking disintegrated and like started freaking out on BYB people. But if he has a different version, fine. I'm sure it's totally not in his head. I could care less either way, honestly.
All right.
So what? It's my bad. If I did something else, it's the reason it all fell apart. Okay, and don't care at this point. I hate him either way, so it doesn't really fix anything.
Gotcha. I would have invited him on, but he's blocked me. So from DMing him.
I don't want to talk to the guy anyway. Like we really don't have nothing to talk about. And for some reason, every time I call into Tukey's now, fucking JT puts him on the phone. And I really don't want to talk to Stevie Lou anywhere, anytime. I have nothing to say to the guy. He's a fucking idiot. I really hate his guts. So, JT, if you're listening, quit putting Stevie Lou on the phone with me when I call in. I hate that. Jesus,
Well,
I would rather. There's anyone else in the world I would rather talk to than Stevie Lou.
Well, they're doing what you
I
got known for
understand
doing,
what they're
right? I
doing.
mean, come on. So Terry
I
Nee
know.
for
It annoys me, though.
$5. After political involvement, I found Ray Devito on YouTube. Ray puppet mastered everything in the Dabbleverse. Ever since, Ray will save us. Yeah. What's your take on Ray?
I talked to him today. He's going to be at Rodney's tomorrow. Speak of the devil. I see you in the chat there, Tommy Jordan. You'll be hanging with Ray tomorrow. He's not going to be going into the venue from what I understand, but he's going to hang out there. But yeah, I was going to talk to you, Tommy. You need a live stream from there, or at least just check in with us tomorrow while you're at the venue. You ought to. What's my take on Ray? Ray's
going into Rodney's if somebody buys the $30 ticket for him is pretty much what's going to happen.
Maybe.
No, go ahead. Talk about Ray.
Talk about Ray or talk shit.
Well,
about
talk
Ray?
what we're discussing.
Whatever, man. Ray's just trying to make his way as a 50-year-old comedian who's probably not going to go the route of Rodney Dangerfield. Speaking of Rodney's, he's not going to find critical acclaim at age 50. So he's probably declining in his last 10 years of being capable of doing comedy. And I'm not going to be like Kevin Brennan and say this it's my job to troll him till he quits his dream of being a comedian. And if that's what he wants to do, I'm fine with it, man. Me and Ray are kind of buddies. So I care that he's doing what he does? No, it doesn't bug me.
Yeah,
I don't know why it drives other people crazy, to be honest with you.
Because Ray's a nice guy. I think people actually genuinely, when they meet Ray, they like Ray, and this is not a life they would want for themselves. And so that's what they're doing. It's like if Ray were their brother, they wouldn't want him doing this. So, or a friend, that would be what I think. So I'm pretty sure that those guys are like, they're concerned, or as we call it, concerned trolling, maybe. Right. What do you think about Mommy? What about what she did to Ray, but just what she's been doing for the last several years?
What has she done? She's filmed inside of Stuttering John's house, and she fucked with Ray a little bit most recently. Whatever, man. She can do what she wants. I don't really have an opinion on it because I don't know their inside relationship. Maybe she got pissed off at Ray and just was fed up with him. I don't know. Do I know for a fact that she was just trolling him for no reason? No, I don't know that. I don't know the same thing about her situation with Stuttering John. I assume I'll take her at her word that she was worried that he was going to do something to her if she didn't record. And then secondly, with Ray, that situation seems a little different, but she's been friends with him for a long time. So I think she can do whatever she wants in that situation. Do you think it was slimy that she recorded his set?
I think so. I mean, he was hurt. He was hurt. He sat down next to me at the Super Bowl, and it was all he could talk about. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't expect her to do it. We've always been friends. I don't know what to do.
So I thought they've always been friends as long as I've known both of them. Yeah.
Look, I've told Mommy and that I thought she was disingenuous with this stuff. So, what I said to Ray was, it's Mommy. What do you expect? Right? And so we're there with that. But you do have her on your show. She is part of the Dabbleverse. And I'm sorry, I'm getting what's the word? Mumble mouth, but good, is she good or bad for the Dabbleverse?
She's good. She makes drama. Isn't that what the Dabbleverse is built on? Drama.
I don't know. You and I have disagreed about that before. I think sometimes drama is good. I think some of the content can come without drama. I know you look. I don't think there's necessarily a lot of drama around Stuttering John, but I think he gives us great content.
But there is drama. There's lawsuits and relationships and what are trolling. It's nonstop, man. So that's all drama. All of that stuff is drama.
Yeah, but it is what he does to himself, right? Or that he keeps making the wrong choices over and over again.
I mean, is WATP and the TSN, is their coverage of him? I mean, that's part of the drama, isn't it?
Well, he knows that they're covering him, right? Like he knows what to expect. I think when it comes to like Mommy, at least with Ray, you sort of trust her, which may be stupid, but you trust her.
I think that's true. Yes,
and then
correct.
And then she turns on you, and then feigns like, "Oh, I don't know what I did." And the story she told me about John, showing the inside of John's house, was that she only recorded it to protect herself in case John made a move.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
And that it was Vince that actually released it. That Vince got a hold of her phone, and he's the one that sent it out.
Well, now that we know that they were banging, I guess it's more possible.
Story seems a little. I'm surprised that people are surprised by that. I mean, she said that on Shuli's show a few months ago. She called Vince her boyfriend. Well,
I have a feeling everybody thought that was like a joke and thought she was like a married lady. So who knows?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know that till very recently, honestly.
I do look, but why? How many men do you know hang around women like Mommy with that much, right? And nothing's going on. I mean, it would be a little surprising. So, I don't know. You had to figure something else.
I guess I just never had thought about it that much. Honestly, that's what it is. Well, like KB hangs out with the beautiful boys in like Colorado. I don't always just assume like she's banging all of them. You know what I mean? Just because you hang out with people doesn't mean you're banging them automatically as a lady.
Right, but Lady KB isn't sitting on everybody's lap when she sees them, or encouraging them. Lady KB's never walked up to me and rubbed me in a way that would be considered, if the wife were around, a little annoying.
Well, I've never hung out with Mammy in person, or neither have I seen her in public. So I guess all you guys hanging out with each other over there in the East Coast, I guess you see a little bit more. But yeah, I'm not privy to all the inside details all you guys are.
See, I think you hear. I just assume that you hear everything. This is just the kind of stuff that I've seen. But let's just say
I've heard about pillow forts and yeah.
Pillow forts. That was so weird. Like she's taken Ray to a colonoscopy, and at the same time she's taping him in a show and then complaining that he doesn't respect comedy. Drunken Donuts, this is a rumor, but the stories, hold on, that she liked when Vince the lawyer stood on top of a milk crate during a backdoor penetration. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, yeah. Because he's a short little guy, Get it?
Miami's a short little gal as well. Terry Nee for $5. Ray is like Sheldon. If you expect change, you're a fool. Ray is smart with an MBA. He doesn't talk shit of people. He's a good egg. Ray is a good egg. And no, Ray doesn't talk shit of people, but Ray has the people he doesn't like, right?
I don't know what it is, man. Ray seems to have a certain way of like tweaking certain people just with the way he talks. I've gotten infuriated with him just talking in circles a few times. So like, the way he'll repeat stuff or the way he'll just bring up a point over and over and over. I can see how it would wear on certain people. I don't know, man. I've never taken him that seriously. And when he started having me on his show, I would just sit there, eat a gummy and have a laugh. And I never took him seriously. I don't think he takes himself that seriously. So like somebody like Kevin Brennan, who like breaks down word after word or anything that Ray says or does. I have a hard time making fun of Ray like that, to take him serious enough to really browbeat him. Now, like John, he takes himself serious to the nth degree. So why is it easier to mock or make fun of someone like him? I understand. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Ray gets really butthurt too. It's they do have that in common, that they really can get butthurt. But I see Ray more as like he's more like a boy, And I say that he's more. It's kind of hard to put into words, man.
Well, Ray definitely
He's got
gets
Peter Pan syndrome, I guess would be kind of a way to put it.
He does definitely get butthurt, but as I know, you're in the phone circle. So if he calls you and doesn't get the answer from you that he wants, he's going to call me. And if he doesn't get the answer from me that he wants, then he's going to call Teamster Tim. And eventually, he's going to get the answer that he wants. And then 3 weeks from now, he's going to call you, tell you that he had enacted that answer that he wanted, and it was a mistake, but act like that's what everybody told him to do. So that's Ray. Ray wants the answer that Ray wants, not the answer that is necessarily the right answer. And I like the guy, and I'm saying that. So I used to answer, Schmuel streams in shirts that have sweat-wicking technology, just like Mersh. I do. This is actually my winter undershirt.
Yeah, you're doing all the heavy lifting today. You're getting your reps in, man. Look at you.
But there you go. Shoveling snow and walking the dog. I need the wife to come back so I can put the shovel in her hands.
Do you walk with a walking pole or ski poles?
Neither. I'm not that old.
Walking stick? You don't have a really nice walking stick?
No, I do. I don't. I think that I would like to have one, but I'm already embarrassed I'm this old. But look, you're opening the door to walking, and I'm not going through it, Quad. As much as the Dabbleverse would like me to.
I'm saying you would fit in Oregon. You just need a walking stick or ski poles. That's everybody out here looks like you and has those things. Accoutrement.
I got you. Because when I did ask questions, there were a lot of the lower, what do you call it? The lower echelon people were all related. They were relating to, had pool questions. Swimming pool questions, if you know what I mean. All right, so let's go through some of these. So this one is ask him why Roachi left, and there's another one that asked what your feelings are now on the Chad Mersh thing, calling the cops and saying there was a gun. So those two things go together. So right?
Yeah, Roachi wasn't cool with the gun. Saying the word gun. Damn limey bastards. They don't have guns over there. You wouldn't understand, Roachi. No, he put himself in I think he still wanted to do the Weekly Devil review, you know what I mean? It was a really good outlet for him, so I think he's kind of bummed out he doesn't have that show to go on. But he set a standard for himself where he said he wasn't okay with me saying the word gun during that phone call. And I totally understand, man. It was bad. I should never have done that. It was a step way over the line. I can't change it now, but it's in the past. It's part of what I've done in the Dabbleverse that's not good. So it is what it is. I own it. have to move on, and I don't get Roachi back, so I am paying some price for what I did.
Right. I mean, Spurg is
We're still friends, but he's not going to be on shows with me after I did that. So
yeah. And look, and Spurg, it's not Roachi, but as good a replacement as possible, right? Given the circumstances, Spurg is your new
Spurg's good.
co-host.
He's knowledgeable. Yeah. He has stepped right in, and I like you understand how being behind a membership wall, you don't get to see the numbers, so you guys won't be able to compare, but I can see the numbers, and I know that it's pretty much the same. So just if that's the curiosity, it has not dropped off in any way as far as viewership. I would love to have Roachi back, and I think Spurg would too, because he'd rather have his Sundays.
How do you do? So you do 3 shows a week, right? And
Or 4, like you said,
or
with
4, but
Weekly
the
Devil routine.
three during the week, right?
Yeah.
Is that taxing? Do you find it's too much? Do you find there's enough content for it?
Every time I think there's not going to be enough to talk about on a show, and all of a sudden 3 things happen and there's something to talk about. So it keeps rolling along. However it does, it keeps happening. So I have not found an issue with that. I mean, so sometimes there's enough to talk about stuff for 3 hours. Sometimes there's a 4.5 hour show. So it is what it is.
Do you find like, is the show growing? Is it going where you want it to be?
Yeah, I'm fine with the way it is. I mean, it does seem like we may have leveled off. We're gaining subscribers, but as far as views go, I guess we're, pretty consistently right around 1,000. And that seems like that's where we're going to be at.
And
I mean, we had John on and ambushed him, and we get 2,800. We've had anywhere from like 10,000 views to down to, I'd say we never really drop below 600. So that I'm okay with that.
so I'm gonna do a couple of these things. Jimmy I319 Schmuel will be doing 7 days a week when fully unemployed, retired. Jimmy, this is I haven't streamed I did stream Tuesday night, Tuesday and Thursday. I don't think I did anything. I didn't do anything. I did your show on Friday, and that was about it. So I do have a reputation for streaming all the time, but
only on vacation.
But I don't. Which I will probably do again on the next vacation I go on. Victoria, not Victoria 444. Why do podcast hosts use filters?
Because we're ugly.
Yeah, I don't have one on, so
I think mine's on from last
Jackson
time I was on
Blank.
EV Mux.
Jews Unite. Yes, that's good. Iced Answer, Facebook. I keep doing that to the poor guy. Final Boss is a good egg. And
I would like to point out, I'm half-assed tired, but you know what, Victoria? When Schmuel tells me yesterday, let's go live at 6:30, and then a half hour before the show starts, he says 6:10. And so it's like, let's just move it ahead 20 minutes. And then he puts me in a rush to get here. How dare you, Schmuel?
I absolutely apologize. You know what? I
saw your message and I was like, oh, fuck. Get out.
It should have been 6:30. I meant I'm going on at 6:10. But I find myself telling people, because what happens is, like, I come on, I've got the song and the intro, and if I say 6 and I start and I don't get around to like actually coming on screen till 6:10, I feel bad that the person's been sitting in the back, right? And then I bring them on and it's too soon. So enough of that.
I don't know, Schmuel, you might consider using that time to do mic checks or camera checks.
I have, and we've done it, but then I wouldn't be me if I didn't do it all half-assed.
So right.
So we have to do that. I think he's talking about me. He looks like Bruce Jenner before he became Caitlyn. Very Cute. Very, very cute. All right.
Like
So
the
we
Wii
go
U's
on.
one.
All right. So now we're all right. So basically, from what I understand, right, you went from being sort of a caller and a fan of Compound and Kumia and Red Eye and those guys, and then you sort of found your way into the Dabbleverse through Gino, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to Kevin. You guys do the Hangout show. The Hangout show develops into BYB, and then develops into what it is now.
Yep.
All right. All right. So we're up to that. So here we are now, right? And the landscape has changed a lot in the last year from who's out there. So you got Tommy Jordan is out there now, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were all focused on Steel Toe a year ago, I guess.
And now are we focused on Karmic, or is Karmic come and gone, or what's the story there?
It's back and forth. If Felicia wouldn't have stepped into that situation, I don't think Karmic's would be in our orbit. But since he is, we're still talking about him because that crazy broad's driving that fucker nuts, and we're stuck with him now.
I'm interested in that because it feels like people are blaming her for shit that I think that he's doing it on his own. Like, people seem to think that she's like a puppet master with Karmic. And I think this is Karmic being Karmic.
I mean, he's not drinking. She's definitely altered his behavior. I mean, that's a fact. So
She
I don't
has,
know.
but isn't that what he wanted to do? Like, didn't he want to stop drinking?
I guess. I don't remember. I'm not the biggest Karmic's fan, honestly, so I don't really watch that much of him. I'll watch the clips. I got a timestamp on Monday. He was talking shit about us because someone sent a super chat to him. And of course, he ran with whatever they told him. So he just takes it verbatim, like as if it's truth, and runs with it. So
Oh, he doesn't.
he's not a fact checker.
He doesn't. Well, he doesn't care what the truth is. He only cares what works for him. Huzy Entertainment.
Rage.
Gilly knew that Karmic was a total bitch due to his obsession with Dixon.
I don't think he cares though. They're probably He's just happy to be with someone. I guess he was probably lonely out there in the middle of nowhere. So anything's better than nothing.
But
She's that.
I get it, but there's got to be. You're 42 years old. I mean, it wasn't like he was fucking chained to the mobile home. He could have gone anywhere at any time.
He's been living out there by himself for quite some time, so I don't know. Yeah, he's a vulnerable adult, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. The dude's a trip, man.
I just picture the dude as the guy up on the ledge, and people are, trying to yell to get him to jump. And
I agree. That does seem to be the thing.
And he goes back.
I think that's why he has 200 people watching him, honestly. And he was saying that on Monday too. He's like, "Oh, these guys cover me because they're jealous. They're jealous of my success." And it's like, yeah, we kind of we're watching from a distance because we think your chat's trying to kill you, and we're watching. That is actually what's happening. So you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one.
Connor Swim. She's not a puppet master? ? 2 words. Ron Fuddle. Look, I think she's insane on her own, right? She's obsessive.
Did you see the phone call in the Keanu show?
I did. I did.
That screams obsessed. She's scary, man. She's like, to not let that go and to call in to rub in Nate Bargatze and Dave Portnoy into Kiki's face and be like, "Oh, you should have chose me over Ashley." And I at least they scored some points on her and dunked on her, as far as being like, "Well, you're not that impressive. You're a bore." So, which is very true. If you ever watch a Felicia, I mean, if you've ever seen one of her streams, you'll realize she's a very vapid, empty human being. Not funny, not interesting. It's true.
Yeah, we could have you spend time with Felicia. If I said to you guys spend 24 or 48 hours with Felicia, she can't tell you what she does for a living. my guess is you would never in your world believe that she was a comedian,
Yeah, no
right?
way. No
Right?
way.
And look, I found the phone call pretty funny, but then again, I'm like, at the same time, I put it up on a tweet. Look, I think being in a hammock with Dave Portnoy and Nate Bargatze is miles ahead of selling your starfish photo for $5. But that's just me.
She's going to be on a show tomorrow night with the great Stuttering John. I don't know if you know this.
I do not. She's going to be on. Which is she? Felicia? Is
She's
she
on
going
that
to
show with
Rodney's?
Rodney's, right? That's a Gino and Kiki production, from what I understand, right?
I have
Or
not
is
seen
that
anything.
just
I've
Rodney's?
not seen anything that says Felicia is going to be on there.
Oh, no, Kiki. I thought
Oh,
you were talking about
Kiki.
Kiki and Gino.
Well, Kiki and Gino, that's all they do. They only work together.
Right.
Pretty
With
much.
John, apparently, or Matt Mead, one of the two.
Yeah, look, the whole thing has me. The Gino thing blows me away. The Keanu thing blows me away. It's like Keanu is attractive. She's what, 33 now? Those looks are going to start to fade fast, and she's going to wind up with a 60-year-old guy who can't walk up the stairs because he's so drunk all the time. It seems an odd way to choose to live your life.
Yeah, man. At least pick someone with money that is that old, right? And come to find out, Gino's 33 grand in debt. Bad choice.
Look at this.
Maybe
Tommy
it is
Jordan
true love. I don't know.
notifying the Lifeform committee that you didn't read my super chat. I thought I did, Tommy. Let's see. Tommy Jordan. Oh, there we go. Shout out to the 4-character legend at Brock. Less than rare. There you go, Tommy. It's red out there. We just got you to send in another $2 to get you to read the $2 one.
Do you like being a life form?
All right. This is my next question. So those guys, the Lifeform boys, very hung up in Dabbleverse rankings, right? When Dan came out with the list, where do you see that? I don't know how much you know about the list or the rankings, but where do you see those? Where do you see those guys now? More impact, less impact, more engagement, less
Little
engagement?
Mirror and Dr. Cha, way less impact. Yeah, they were doing way better when they were paying guests. They got Andy Dick on. They had some names getting. I mean, they were paying people, but they were getting them on. Yeah, their impact is a lot less now. I think Dr. Chow likes to see himself as the guy behind the scenes that's making moves and making things happen, but he has what, Chad's ear, and Chad's an idiot. So that's the one guy he's convinced that he's a somebody. Congrats. Good job, I guess. You hang out with Chad Zumach. How fun that must be.
Yeah, well, look, they both think they're a thing. I mean, Chow certainly thinks that
They have a following a little bit.
He's manipulating. He's manipulating the Dabbleverse. If it weren't for him, Penny and the Big Dork wouldn't have followers. It's tiresome to me because it's just the same shit over and over again. It's that classic like pump and dump thing. But I do hear the people like his Lifeform shit. Huzy. Lifeforms is really funny for the first 20 minutes, but as soon as Mir gets drunk, he just turns into ranting woman hating incel. So, yeah, I mean, it's my experience with him. And I was laughing because he put out, yesterday he said to me, he was tweeting out that somebody had like a 70 IQ and somebody else, the two people together had a combined 70 IQ. And I was thinking that Mir would not be the guy that should be challenging other people's IQs. Because, aside from liking women's drinks, I've seen him perform his little music. And
the music is unbearable. A year ago, I went through his catalog on my show, and I showed 3 or 4 songs, and Yeah, it's unbearable. And then he came out with this freaking Final Boss thing, and he was explaining how he got into the mind of Final Boss, and it's emo gay music. They have no right to be saying mogging, gesturing. I don't even know what those words mean, but I know they don't fit into them. So they should grow up a little bit. He's always telling everybody that he's like trad based, blah blah blah, but he sings gay emo music. So maybe take a look at yourself a little bit on that one.
Yeah, I have to laugh. Because it's this self-importance. I get the one guy as he's got like this limerent fantasy. It's like the girl who falls in love with you, and no matter how much you tell them you don't want their affection, they just can't stop. But but that's Chow. He just keeps going and going, and I got to give him credit for keeping going, but I do find him kind of uninteresting. It's like Hack at this point. It's the same thing over and over again. It's like, show me something different. And I also can't figure out how an adult male has all this time to spend on the internet. Like, to be there. Like, you can't put up a tweet without them responding within 10 seconds. You know? So that's a little bit weird.
Some of these people just have like ADD to the nth degree, man. Hyperactive minds. I don't even know what it is. Restless spirits. They seem to be everywhere all at once, and it is kind of a trip. Like, you'll go look at a chat, you'll see them on Twitter chat in like 3 different places at once, and it's like, what the hell? I can't keep up with that, man. I try to keep up with the shows and try to keep up with what's going on, but dude, there are some hyperactive people in this world. That's the internet, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's strange to me that I don't know how you can be in like every chat. Well, like there are some people that no matter what chat you go into, whenever you go into, they're in there, and they're engaged in the chat, and that kind of blows me away. Are there any particular chatters that you like, or like? I gotta say, I'm an AB fan. I'm a Sam Bibley fan, right? Chat wise, are there any kind of like BYB chatters that stand out to you?
I mean, there's a lot of I don't know. We have a lot of cool ladies that hang out in our chat. I like G Rob and Flat Cat, Young Old Vibes, KB. I'm probably gonna. I hate you putting me on the spot to say this because it's
you'll
weird
leave somebody out and then they'll go, "You left me out."
That's where I'm going with it. And the guys too. Whatever. They're we have so many cool chatters. And every night, for the most part, we seem to have a lot of the same people show up. But it's a mix and match, man. Connor and like Labyrinth Mystic and Permasil, he'll come on in there every once in a while, but we got a pretty consistent base of chatters, and I appreciate all of them, not just whatever. I guess the ones I just mentioned seem to be very supportive of our channels, but that's not necessarily the only case. Beloved chatter popping in. Dude's always on point with every single thing he puts in there. Even Peter Sky Parker, who comes in there and fucks with me and talks shit to me. I still appreciate him because I usually get a laugh out of that kind of stuff. I don't take it too serious. I don't take myself serious. So if Peter Sky Parker says something about my audio every night till the last day I podcast, that's fine. I'm cool with it.
He will. And he will.
And Jenta, she says I suck. She loves to say that, and I know she doesn't mean it. Not for a second.
Maybe she does. Maybe she hate watches.
I don't know. Maybe she hates me. I don't know.
All right. So you pulled for lack of a better way to describe it, you pulled the long con with John, right?
Long con and a short con.
How to pull
cons.
How to pull the plug when the Dr. Steve stuff came up. So Ava and even Kiki, are they long conning John, or are they in there? Are they true believers?
God, that's hard. That's a hard one. I'll say they're
just in your opinion. You don't have to be right. Just
I think I think they're using him for comedy gigs, so they're in till that's no bueno. Maybe a little past it. Maybe they're yeah. I don't know. It feels like they're just trying to use him for gigs for now. They've made a deal behind the scenes, but then again, it does make me question myself because I know that they were talking with him and had a falling out, and now they're talking to him again. It's hard to get put your finger on it. You know what I mean?
No, we're talking about Keanu and Gino, right?
Yeah.
Or are you talking
Keanu and
about
Gino and Stuttering John.
Right, right. Because it's Ava too, but that's different. Like,
Yeah.
I think what you think. I think that Keanu and Gino consistently make the wrong choice of who to hook up with, and they're doing it with Stuttering John. And if you remember, her getting on at the Stress Factory had to do with Gino sending in a super chat saying, "Hey, Keanu, ask John for a spot at his show at the Stress Factory." You know, now they're best of friends, but you know, before that, that's what. So I see them as, yeah, they're hooking up with John for reasons beyond, you know, he's my buddy.
Yeah, financial
and,
gain, right. And I think their falling out previously was because Gino would come on and say the F word and the N word, and like he just got sick of that.
Well, you know, look, that's what Luis Gomez said. Luis J. Gomez said, you know, that Gino had helped him in the beginning. He was really thankful for Gino, but he doesn't know what happened to him, and he can't have him on a show now because that's all Gino does is end this and F that, right? And so
I mean, it's funny, but it's 15-year-old funny. You know what I mean? To a point. Like, it's funny to like throw that word out there every once in a while to get like shock value, I guess. But I think most people are just past that stuff. It's like, grow up, dude. It's funny. You might get a laugh out of Kevin Brennan every once in a while because it is shocking to have it pop up out of nowhere. That's what the laugh is, right? You're just like blowing it back to someone actually drops it. He's like, whoa, damn, you did
and
it.
Kevin, look, I don't have to like Kevin, but Kevin's funny, right? And
Agreed.
Kevin
No argument.
isn't caught up in all this shit. I have the feeling that, you know, when other than money, when Kevin turns off the camera, he doesn't give a fuck about anybody. And Gino is really into this. I always say Gino wants to be a motivational speaker more than a comedian. You know, he wants to win you over and lead
That's
you.
literally what his comedy set is. Like, he was I don't almost maybe not even a motivational speaker, but more of like he wants to browbeat everyone into like thinking the way he thinks. He'll bring up the COVID and like political his political views. It's insane, but it's ramblings of a madman. You know what I mean? I don't even know how much comedy's in there.
Gino would be great in like the charismatic Christian community, you know, up on stage, like hearing from God, you know, that these things told me, you know, this is what I'm hearing. This is the way
That
you
might have
need to
worked
live.
in 1505, but it don't fly in 2026.
In 2026, it's $1 million. It makes millions of dollars. You got the one place in California making $60 million a year. What do you call it? You got the Benny Hinns of the world. Gino could be healing people, you know, if we would just follow. I'm telling you, if he did it right, he could play pastor. He could sell healing remedies. It worked for Alex Jones until he, you know, pulled the Sandy Hook shenanigans. White Knight Cutlass. Ava wants attention and likes to argue. Canoe and Gino, Germo, are looking for gigs. Yeah. What do you think of the Ava thing? Is that a long troll, or do you think again that she's a true believer?
I think she likes to just fight back at the powers that be, which in this case would be TSN and WATP. So when it was convenient for her, she did go on there and bash John, though. So I think it's somewhat attention and somewhat confrontive. She likes a good confrontation, a good battle. So
I've been there.
I kind of somewhat did the same thing. Like, I went on John's show as a goof back in the very beginning. And after being there for a month and seeing that, like, how much it bugged Carl and Shuley, I was like, Okay, this is the stage to fuck with those guys from. So why not? So I just started saying things I know would annoy the hell out of them, and I stuck with that for a minute. But the like you said, the Dr. Steve thing was a bridge too far, and I was like, "Fuck Stuttering John," and got out of there.
Yeah, and it wasn't that you bailed; it was just how quickly you bailed. Your ending. There was no plan, right? I guess, or it was a very
No.
poorly put together.
There was a
plan.
couple days. There was just he did quit fucking with Dr. Steve after that. I don't know if everyone noticed that, but he did stop talking about him. But yeah, it was just like a couple days there. He just out of nowhere decided to go after Dr. Steve to hurt Carl. And I tried to say a little bit. I tried to say something about it, like, why Dr. Steve? I don't really get it, man. Because he wore a T-shirt with your face on it. Like, huh? That seems a little extreme that you're going after him now.
And then didn't he go after Steve when Steve offered him help for the
drinking and whatnot like that? Yeah.
And because John doesn't have a problem drinking, as we all know. He's giving up beer next week.
As we know, alcoholics, if you tell them they're alcoholics, they could have a adverse reaction to that bit of news. So I don't think he would probably add that into the list of grievances he had with Dr. Steve at the time. Like, oh, tell me I'm an alcoholic. Fuck you.
So do you think John is going to, or I'm sorry, that Schmuel, I have no inside information. I just read on Reddit that Schmuel was preparing to sue John for like tortious interference.
I just read that.
And a bunch of other stuff. Do you think that that's likely to happen or no?
I no idea what they got planned. I don't. He has a lawyer, and that lawyer's giving him advice, and I would probably leave it at that because I'm not a lawyer, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
I don't know how much of a case there would be for that. Someone striking your channel, like how tortious interference. I don't know.
Nah, I think I think it's a legit claim. I just think it would be very expensive to fight. Like,
and be settled on YouTube at the end of the day, right? Isn't YouTube the decider of who's striking too often or not? You know what I mean? It comes down to like strikes on YouTube.
Not really, because if you're striking something, it would be akin to filing, false police reports, right? Like, you can file 4 or 5 and you're not going to get in trouble. But start filing a bunch, you can wind up in trouble. YouTube, the deal is YouTube is just a facilitator, right? So it's not up to YouTube to prosecute it or whatever. YouTube is doing what YouTube is supposed to do. Beyond that, what do you think about the case that's ongoing though? The name, image, and likeness. You think there's any validity to that?
No, I don't. I don't think John. I mean, I see what people are trying to say. Like, you do own your voice and stuff, and putting it behind a paywall, does that change it? That they've made money off it? I don't know. I know that there's cases that could help John in the long run that have happened in the past, where people have won cases like that. Do I think John's is the same? I don't know. I don't know. I've even had Luigi Greenberg on the show, and we broke it down some of the stuff before. And at the end of the day, I'm still kind of lost on whether it's an actual valid lawsuit or not. I know John will tell you it's the most serious. It's serious as a heart attack, but I don't know that I feel the same. Reverend Rage will cuss me out for saying that, but so be it.
In my time, I'm going to just answer here. Schmuel, did you coordinate your pen and shirt on purpose? No, I just I grabbed the shirt and picked up the pen. But if I would have reached, I had like a 1 in 8 chance of grabbing this. So there you go. Have you read the lawsuit at all?
Yeah, I'm more in the beginning than now. I really haven't read it since I had Luigi on, and that's been months ago. So, yeah.
So it's quite pathetic, like the thing that John's claiming, but there's no real. They call it. They say that cause of action. Like, why are we bringing this? What is it that you did that is causing us to sue you? It's so all over the place. Like, you can't quite figure it out. And I've asked a few lawyers to look at it, and they're all like, "Oh, this is awful. This is awful." And when they hear about the amendment that Tabor wasted the First Amendment to correct the spelling of his name, they're like, "Where did this guy find this lawyer?" So,
Yeah, you would have thought he would have looked a little deeper into some of the other stuff that he wanted to have amended, but before you ran with just fixing your name, right?
I was embarrassed.
To
You know,
maybe
I
clean
mean,
up some of the other mistakes you'd made. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So anyway, let's I think we've accomplished what I was sort of setting out to accomplish, was getting to know Quad beyond the BYB, beyond the BYB thing. Are you still politically, and you don't have to answer the question, or dox yourself in doing it, you still involved, like, politically? Do you still
Besides
Do you-
voting now.
are you just like voting and you're done with the Trump hats and the, trying to convince Portland girls to become conservative?
Oh, I mean, that's never been. Yeah, people are whatever politics they have. They have like, I mean, I'll have a conversation with somebody, and I'll try to, of course, convince them of my points. But that's the one thing I've noticed with politics and conversations is almost seems like at the end of the day, no matter who you're talking to, they always end up right back where they were as far as their thinking. Like, changing hearts and minds does not seem to be a very good idea in the political sphere. Most people are pretty set in the way they think about politics.
Right.
I don't know. It seems like a waste of freaking time is what I'm saying, to even have political conversations.
Right. The one thing that I do find interesting is I talk to younger people these days is how much political leaning affects who they'll date. Which blows me away. Not so much like high school and college kids, but as they get older and they're in sort of in their careers, it's pretty interesting. And we had one of my wife's friends, the kid is like 35, and she was dating a guy, and then she saw him in a Trump hat or something like that. I was like, I'm never going to see them again. And my wife was like, she just spent the last 3 months telling me how wonderful this guy was. So that,
Yeah. My most recent girlfriend, we never really talked politics, but that is why we broke up. One day she came over, and the Trump hat that had been sitting on my stove forever, she just happened to notice it and was like, "Oh, you voted for Trump? You're a Trumpster?" Like, shock and amazement. And that was, I think we'd been dating 5 months. She'd never asked me if I was a Trumper. I'd never coughed it up. Ignored politics 100%. That was the last time we ever saw each other, that day.
wow.
The day
And have
she
you
saw my
and
Trump hat.
You didn't talk to her?
Never talked to her ever again.
Wow.
Just like that, instantaneous.
Wow.
Well, I did say after the hat thing came up, then I was like, would it make it worse to tell you that I hang out and talk to Proud Boys? That didn't help. Let's say that.
And everybody seems to know what a Proud Boy is, right?
Oh yeah, especially in Oregon.
What's the shirt? Fred Meyer? Is it Fred Meyer? The
This one?
shirt, the Proud Boy shirt.
Fred Perry.
Fred Perry. So I was telling the story. I have neighbors near me, and every year they have a party. They've been in this town since 1928, and every year they have a party, and they're carrying it on. And one of the brothers-in-law shows up, and he's wearing the Fred Perry shirt. And the guy's like 70, and he's been married to the same man since Married to Men was legal. And I told him that it was a Proud Boy shirt, and he got very mad at me. And a year later, I met him, and he was like, "Oh, thank you for doing that." He had no idea why people were looking at him strangely, which I thought was pretty funny. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about that. So, I have to ask you. I have to ask you these. You don't have to answer them if you don't want to. But your paralysis, right? So this happened how long ago now?
14 years ago. Yeah.
And how hard is it to like come to grips with that and to do like
Not too hard now. I'm kind of used to it.
Not now, but I mean, did it take you a long time to
Yeah.
Adjust to it?
A couple of years. Yeah.
And so they say from what I've read that most people after like a major accident like that or something are basically the same person after a couple of years that they were before. Right? Do you think that's true? Do you think it changed you?
No, same ish. Yeah.
And what's the daily life like? Like, is it difficult? Like, is everything much more difficult, or are you at a stage where you've just sort of adjusted to it?
Life easy.
I get that.
Everything's harder, and it takes way longer.
Right. It's just so I'm in the Dabbleverse, or just in life, and I've got people complaining about there's a little bit of snow, and their lives have gone to hell, or it's cold out, or they're not feeling good that day, and there are people like you that overcome sort of these major life moments. So you get any advice for them?
Yeah, quit your bitching, get busy. That's right. Get busy living or get busy dying. Pretty simple.
Is that your answer? The busyness? Is that the? Does that help? It's Dave Sarah wants to come and save us. Hi, Dave.
Hi. How's it going, buddy?
Good. What's going on?
No, just finished the long stream.
Cool.
And I figured I'd come and say hello.
What up, dog?
Cool. I was just grafting. Go ahead.
I'll be in the background.
He had his headphones off. You ain't gonna hear me. No, I just said we're doing an interview of Quad. Can you imagine anything more boring than that, Dave?
Not at all. I'll hang out in the back so you guys can have fun.
Yeah, we're just.
Let me grab my pills since you're here, real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Hey. So,
the Jetson thing.
Tell me about the Quad. Hey, real quick. Let's do a little let's do a little rayness check. So yesterday on Hope, what did he disclose?
Oh, I think I know.
Did he disclose anything last night?
I would have. I can't say yes because if I do, then I'm disclosing something that I knew.
And he didn't wear a condom.
There we go. All right. Did he say he didn't wear a condom?
Yeah, he said he raw dogged it.
Oh,
there you go.
All right.
He said he asked her for advice, and she sent him texts and said, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Just look at it, and if there's nothing wrong with the field, then go play ball." Something like that. I know. Here we are talking about me, and I don't even matter, and we got all these major events happening in the Dabbleverse.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll get back to that, but I got a phone call long before the stream and everything else, and was told a condom was used.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was told. So
he called you to make sure you knew that he wore a condom?
I think I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that somebody that hasn't been laid in probably 5 years couldn't believe that they were laid, and maybe that's why they called. But the condom talk did come up. So, all right. But I got to go back to this, Quad, because the deal is I don't want to minimize it, right? You're on the internet. You're doing things. You've got the stream. You seem pretty happy in life, right? I mean, I know it's going to sound like bullshit to you, but you're probably a motivator for some people. I mean, you may be a scumbag, right? Like, there may be people that don't like you, but they have to admire, like, what you go through on a daily basis and with the attitude that you have. Are you choosing not to answer that, or you don't like being you don't
I'm
you don't
not
want
going
to
to
be
give it a
looked
motivational. No, I'm not giving.
you don't want to be looked up, you don't want to be looked up to?
Whatever, man. I don't even really care what people look at me like. I just I got to do what I got to do, and I do it. And there ain't no bitching, throwing a fit about it. Wake up every day and deal with it, and that's life. Everybody, people have it far worse than me, man. Trust me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Quad chooses not to be an inspiration. So, because that's one of the, I have to say, it's one of the things I admired about you when we first started talking was you never brought this up when we were talking. Like when we were talking, this is not something that came up, right? And I don't know, I found that kind of impressive, particularly since people call you Quad and people make jokes and whatnot. So I don't know. I just know that it's not an easy life that you live, and we want to go there. Nice podcast, stupid. Quaddy's trolling you. Don't even answer. You're an idiot. I'm not capable of doing the troll thing, but thank you, Dan, for your $2. Appreciate it. Now it's interesting because like when you got sick, you remember like got sick, and I was, because everything is sort of magnified when you're in your position, right? Health wise.
I guess. Sure.
Okay.
All
right. So I get it.
It makes everything harder. That's for sure. It makes everything harder for everyone, though. So I don't know. Sick, like you, I don't think I've been more than a flu or whatever since I've been doing this.
Yeah.
Sick. I've never been like messed up.
No, I just think I thought you had the flu or something once, and it was
It
was pretty, and it was pretty brutal, and and you've got to have like the clot thing in your leg. I mean, there's just so much other stuff that people aren't aware of that goes on. It's not like you just sit there and enjoy. Yeah, whatever. In any event, I will.
No, actually, I do. I do just sit here and do nothing. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, what did you? I was trying to make you an inspiration, Quad.
I don't know why you're trying to do that. I wouldn't do that to myself. You can sing my praises from the top of the mountains, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I mean, look, we get into arguments, we get into fights, but in the end,
I would rather do that than be an inspiration.
You're a hero of the day. All right, whatever. Nas Redna. Christ, Schmuel. All right, so it's not going the way I thought. What can I tell you? I thought I don't
got a speech, bro.
And let's go. Let's bring Dave Sauer in.
Okay. Nice synopsis of the Dabbleverse you were doing there, Nas Redna. It's a pretty good little thing.
Surprised
you never heard of Opie and Anthony or Jocktober, but I digress.
Nas Redna is a fascinating fella. And Nas and I DM back and forth a lot. And he
what
has
about phone calls.
He has a view of Carl and the other, and Melton and those guys that would never be called ball washing. So
wow.
You have to. He doesn't. I don't know why he's not more popular, but you got to see his stuff. And he does a show. I don't know if he's done it lately, but he does a show with Johnny Cush. The Cush King.
Maybe he's more of a ball dryer.
He's a ball dryer. It's a ball dryer.
I've done a few shows with him. We broke down like heavy metal bands and what he's very knowledgeable about heavy metal bands and music.
Yeah,
so we've done shows on that.
I know nothing about music. I just
etc.
I just enjoy him trashing people. And I was reading I can't stand
He's
him.
a good egg.
He does.
He's a good egg.
Yeah, and it's very funny when everyone was talking about what a great guy Nick Rekieta was. He was not there, and but the thing I like about Nas is he doesn't. It's like he seems to dislike people individually, right? Like he doesn't dislike Melton because he likes Brennan. It's just Brennan wouldn't exist in the universe, and he would still dislike Milton. So,
Are you saying that you only dislike people because other people dislike them?
no, I'm not saying that I don't do
Okay.
that, but that's what the tribalism that comes up is. People think that if you dislike one person, then that automatically means you like somebody else. And
Because
I
you
think
seem
that's
to be a
incorrect.
Melton guy and not a KB guy. You seem to be a Pat Dixon guy and not a Gino guy. I'm just saying there's a trend here.
Well, I mean, some things naturally develop.
Right. Let's get back to Quad.
You know, some things naturally.
Fuck
develop.
you, Dave. I don't want to get back to me.
Just
Get-
Let's get to Dave. Ask Dave 100 questions.
Ah,
So, I've asked Dave. I've asked Dave a million already, and he tells me to fuck off as well.
oh, sorry. I'm just
But
trying
Dave-
to find a way off this show. Go
Is
on.
Joey C a rat?
I mean, I don't like the fact that now he did rat on me, but it was a fake account, like a fake parody account that he tagged me in with the LAPD. So I don't know if that's gamesmanship or retardation. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
That's the great thing about being stupid. Nobody knows whether you're making a mistake or whether you're doing it seriously.
Well,
It is-
was it all capitalized?
Well, it is
And
true
misspelled?
because malfeasance can't be like incompetence can't be an excuse for malfeasance. But in Joey's case, we kind of make an exception, don't we? Sometimes.
Just out of sheer stupidity.
Yes, incompetence.
Gotcha. Like running for president.
If that's not a grift, I don't know what is. Now, Joey's come into my chat and he's been very nice to me. But what am I supposed to say? That it's not a grift because you've been nice to me? No, it's a grift. And his best response ever is, well, why don't you, if you really weren't grifting, you should start local. I can't start local. I'm a felon. Florida doesn't allow felons to run for city council. Well,
Yeah, I get that, right? So you can't, right? I can't run for city council, so I'm going to run for president of the United States. You know?
I mean, it's amazing. I'm surprised Trump didn't talk about him in the State of the Union speech. He's shaking in his boots.
Well, he did
For
write a
the
letter to Don
Republicans.
Jr. looking for a pardon.
God, does he have a federal case on his hands?
Yeah, well, he was right. Yeah, his conviction was federal.
Okay, so it's a federal case in Florida, or no, it's a federal. I see.
They have federal
Florida's
courts in every
Florida's a-
jurisdiction of the United States.
Gotcha. I'm retarded. See, I'm
Now,
retarded too.
He said he put up there was a stream, the Joey C tapes.
It was in Chicago, I believe, right? Okay.
No, everything happened in
Okay.
Florida.
Oh, it did. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he went to jail like 4 years ago.
The wife got a trailer that
It's so hard to keep track.
was lost in a
FEMA.
storm. Yeah. So, but he did put up a stream. There was a stream that said the Joey C tapes, and he
Okay.
said he was putting up the tapes so everybody would really know about what happened.
I did hear that. It's
And
very
that-
boring.
Stream is gone. Has been
Well,
removed
it's-
by the uploader.
Well, luckily I have a copy of it on the snipe that I did on Joey. It's very long and boring. Let me warn you.
But what are the tapes? What are they tapes of?
It's the police officer's interaction with the two of them, and it's like a long
Was
hour.
it a police or a FBI agent?
I don't think it was FBI. Maybe it was, but they
I think
but-
you can lie to a cop. You cannot lie to an FBI agent.
I don't know, but the wife was trying to get the cop to like admit what kind of evidence they had against them or something, and Joey was like saying some shit, and the cop was like, "No, you're wrong. That's not how it works at all." And Joey was writing shit down like as he's watching it, re-listening to it, and he's like writing shit down like as if he's like serving life in prison. He's gonna like beat his fucking murder case in jail because he's innocent or something. He's going to the library every day and writing down like, come on, what are you doing here? Stop making swastikas and Stussy signs.
Ari Jane, I like the color palette of
Callback.
Schmuel Square. Thank you, Ari. Did you listen to the tapes? Did you listen to it?
I know. I just listened to him listen to it. I
But
go
what
back-
did you? But what did you think about it? Like, did you? How did you think
Okay.
he dealt with the cops?
Terribly, poorly, very, very poorly. He's aggressive, starts off like a bitch, and then he gets aggressive because he's wrong and he's lying to them or something. And then he thinks, and then he's like going, like playing Monday morning quarterback. He's like, the cops lying there, the cops lying there. They're supposed to tell me this, they're supposed to. And they're just explaining the fucking situation. And it's like, he sounds incompetent. So that's where I'm getting this from. He doesn't sound malfeasant.
He
Sounds-
doesn't sound malfeasant, or he does sound malfeasant?
No, he doesn't. He just sounds incompetent. Malicious. He doesn't sound malicious. Malfeasant. Malicious.
But he sounds like a stupid criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
Precisely.
essentially what you're saying.
Ding ding
and
ding
we-
ding 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 ding.
And why is this?
Somebody
not
gets
moving?
somebody gets Spurg Snake to find out if fucking retarded criminals on the board. It is number one answer.
This is strange. I have my I have a super tip showing up in. I guess maybe because it's not. Maybe it's behind shit. Who knows? Hold on a second.
Okay.
I think what happened
Hi.
is, David. I think what happened
Hi.
is you might have come in. Hold on. You might have come in on top of the web source.
Yeah, let's take a look at this real quick.
Is that possible?
It is possible.
Let's try this one. There we go. Buckman's next question. Quad. Is it a wheelchair prison or a wheelchair haven?
Yes.
Connor for $5.
Thank you, Connor.
Wheelchair prison.
Thank you,
I don't
Connor.
know. I guess it's a prison, but it's you could be free in prison too. You know.
It's a wheelchair prism.
It's all about your mind. Were you annoyed at John when he said that shit, or did it just prove to you that he is the piece of shit that he is?
It didn't mean anything either way. Honestly, I didn't
turned
think
into
better or worse of him for that
That
one.
turned into an epic episode. Where were
I thought
you,
it was
Flat
funny.
Cat Jessica?
Yeah, exactly. Where were you?
Where were you,
Sunflower
dirty
Dragon?
deeds?
Exactly.
So,
Epic.
Frankfurt
trash.
M, since Schmuel got extremely personal with Quad, can we ask how 9/11 ruined his second marriage? At least that's comical. It did. What do you call it? And Quad, I apologize if I was being personal. I thought those are just sort of things that affect people that are in your position. Oh, here we go. Dave, why did you end your superior show to come on in this inferior one?
Well, tell that to the chatters and the numbers. I saw most of the chatters that are in my chat in here, so I thought, well, just give them what they want. Not most of my chatters, but a lot of the same faces.
I like
So-
this one.
And I did 5 hours already.
Chris Mack, ponderous. All right, so Dave, let's just do this. Let's wrap this up. I want to wrap this up with
Wrap
Quad,
it up,
'cause he's
baby.
Wrap
been
this
here.
up like Ray with that lady.
He's been. Well, you didn't have, Dave. You didn't have to leave. I just feel bad about keeping Quad this time. What do you call it? But you lost me. So you got to answer the question. Joey C. Did he go to jail because of his interaction with the cops, or because of what they got him for?
Because of his he lied for Christina, and so that's what lying to the FBI is actually what he went to jail for. And then when he was out on probation, he reoffended with meth charges. So I think that's why he ended up going for a year.
See, I thought he got charged. I thought he got charged with perjury. I mean, I know he lied to the cops, but I thought he got charged with perjury later, so I was wrong on that. And I'm not going to go back up there, but Art Bell puts in lying to any law enforcement is illegal, and Art, that is untrue. It depends upon the state.
I think if you lied about your identity, like maybe that would be like falsifying information. Maybe that would be considered lying. State to state, like you said. But I know it's illegal to lie to a federal officer, whereas I think you can bullshit cops. It depends on what the information you're like. If they ask you who you are and you lie, that's going to be a problem. But
Right.
In Joey C's case, would you believe that Christina and Joey didn't tell each other what was going on with a grift against the FEMA? Like, can you live under the same roof as a person that's doing something like that and not know about it? Highly unlikely, I would say, but
Yeah, I would think so too. But I also think that the problem for Joey, and it seems to be a continuing problem, is he can't keep his mouth shut. You know, like
yeah,
that's
I'm sure he's talking to an FBI agent and just rambling on, and they write it all down. You're fucked. Yeah, facts. Especially if they think you're in on it and they want to get you too, like wrap you up in it. They'll make sure that happens.
Yeah, Chris Mack. I had that charge, giving false information to a police officer. Yeah, look, it's possible. I talked to now the guy has blew his brains out about 2 years ago. So how accurate it was, but a New York City cop, officer type. I asked him about, can you lie to cops? And he was like, federal agents know it, but in New York apparently you can, but not. There are certain restrictions on that. So, I don't know what they are. Like, I don't think you could lie. I think if they're questioning you could probably lie to them, but I don't think you could go to them and lie to them and say, so-and-so did something and just make it up out of whole cloth. Right? You false report, false information, any of those things. And luckily, Quad, you live on the West Coast and not in Florida, even with Grady Judd as the sheriff. But I do find that the one thing I do find funny is how many Dabbleverse lawyers there are, right? That everybody knows everything and you can sue for doing this. And I remember when you did that thing and like they were coming after you. And you just know that it's not going to happen,
Yeah, Mersh going into the police, the sheriff's department and all that. And I was like, okay, haha. Yeah, I'll be waiting for him to show up. No problem. I'll be waiting a long time. Yeah, I'm still waiting. Oh no, I'm waiting for that knock on the door any day now. Damn it.
Look, I thought Mersh went because of the Chad thing, but if you're showing up at my house, I'm going to the cops. Just telling you that right now, and that's it. And you didn't, look, had you left the gun,
taking back that I fucked up. And once again, I call in. I take a shower. I take more than one shower a week, FYI. But on Saturday morning, I do take a shower every Saturday, first thing in the morning. And I jumped on the phone and called, and I remember trying to remember it back before I had heard it on Tuki's show. I remembered it a lot differently than it sounded when I heard it for the first time too. And it was like, ugh, that's. When I heard it, I was thinking, Jesus, Quad.
Look, I wouldn't have done it. But having said that, if you had not brought up the weapon, I don't think there would have been anything wrong with it.
Right.
And you never know, right? Because you also don't know, like, did Chad have the right house? He might be knocking on. He might be knocking on somebody else's door, and
I knew his address, so I knew he was at the right place.
And all right, but there was a time when people were sending Chad coleslaw, right? And that was funny. But showing up at somebody's house, I mean, can we draw the line at that?
Right. Chad thinks it's funny, but hopefully he thinks it's funny getting concrete and fish and pizza deliveries and all that other stuff that happened. So there you go.
And all right, I do want to end. But something just did pop into my mind about the Mersh thing with Jesse, and we're on the show and stuff like that. Is Jesse like I know Red Bar is just sort of out of it because of health or whatever reason. Maybe he's got enough money to move to Fiji. But is Jesse still popular? Does he still have a following?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he seems like he's backed way off on podcasting, and I think that's more due to real life happening. But yeah, I think he's been working with Faceless, another ski mask type fellow, and they seem to be doing well together. So he just put out the third part of what is it, the live journal that Mersh posted way back in the day, which is hilarious stuff. I have not got to watch that episode yet, but I'll probably watch it. But yeah, watching Mersh do the live journal stuff from back in the day is hilarious. Jesse's good at what he does. I know a lot of people are like, he's just a theater kid that should mind his own business, but I think he's entertaining and he's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't find him that interesting. Like
A lot of people don't.
yeah, mostly because I just think like the gimmick is worn out. You know,
He's an internet troll, man. He's just having fun.
it's like the 18th season of a TV show. It just doesn't. You know, they all can't be The Simpsons. But all right, so but I apologize because I'm losing it. So he still does what he does. Do you know anything about this Red Bar guy? Like, is it just all rumor that he's sick or divorcing
The
or
current day Red Bar, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually really know. I hear rumors. I hear people's thoughts on what's happening, but I don't think there's any concrete answers out there. So
all right? And what is your opinion of Ethan Ralph?
he's a wild card, man. He's got issues with the substances. I think that is his biggest hindrance, and is the case a lot of the time. It affects him in his thinking. You know, so it seems like he makes dumb decisions based on his drug and alcohol abuse. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to watch sometimes. But I know he has the ability to do great things. That seems to be what's holding him back is the drugs and alcohol. When he's sober and doing his show, it's night and day compared to when he's passing out or hanging out with Scarlett Hampton, doing those wild streams. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a shame.
I find him I just find him uninteresting, and
I don't really pay attention to him unless he's dipping into the Dabbleverse, but he does kind of the political stuff too, you know, like you were saying about the right wing, the people that focus on the right wing in the sector. I mean, that's obviously his thing. I mean, Stilta would like that, right? To just talk about stories every day, right wing stories. That seems to be what a lot of these people do.
yeah,
Christy.
Do you think Chrissy got into this right wing stuff
For the money.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
as a capitalist enterprise, and
No
that
doubt
she
about
wouldn't,
it.
and she wouldn't be doing it if what do you call it? If it wasn't something that was making her money?
Correct. I believe 100% she would be doing whatever, left wing, liberal, probably. I know 10 years ago that's what she was doing, hanging out with the gay community and doing that thing. Now she's hardcore right wing trad wife. Like, okay. That hangs out with porn stars, you know, that's all.
She sure does raise that kid like a lefty woman, though. You know, like everything is the kid, the kid, the kid. It's very strange to me, but it's like, yeah, just leave him alone, he'll be fine. What do you think about people like her though? Because there's apparently a whole bunch of them. These youngish, I don't know how young she is anymore, but her age group all become that a lot of them are becoming Catholic or like converting to Catholicism. In the right wing area, the Candace Owens of the world and Chrissy Mayers and those people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that as I have no idea what their faith is and how serious they are about it. It does seem to be a right wing kind of thing a lot of the time, right? But yeah, I don't even really like to. I don't like to bash people for their religion or politics
Unless they're
they're
Jews,
Islam. No, I always say Islam because I really have a problem with Islam way more than I don't mind Jewish people, honestly. But I do have some problems with the things they do. Anyway, I don't know. I don't really like bashing on Jews and Islam. I do have problems with some of the stuff that happens, but I have problems with some of the stuff happening in the Christian. I'm probably more concerned about that. The stuff I see happening in Christian churches. And as a Christian, that shit bothers me way more. So it's a lot closer to home. Seeing the purple-haired flag people, the gay flag people at churches. Right. Well, anyway, I don't want to get too political, but I don't like that shit, man. That bugs me.
Look, I follow that stuff pretty closely. Schmuel just noticing the trad cast LARPers. The answer is no. I've been noticing it for a long time, but this is the first person that I know that might know something about it in here. Your blue-haired liberal trans
Lesbian
flag
creature.
waving.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Those guys, they're no threat. Because their
Sure they
influence their influence has just waned and waned and waned. And those tend to be in the more traditional denominations. And those denominations are just losing people, selling property.
Which is a threat.
The Methodist Church,
They're running people off is a problem.
well, but the real issue to me is at the same time, this sort of charismatic Pentecostal churches are growing by leaps and bounds. You know, the Bethels, the Vineyards, even the Copelands and the Hagees and that stuff. I mean, those have millions of followers, and they make, Bethel Church, like I think I mentioned it earlier, $60 million a year annual budget, and half of that is they sell music. The other half comes from donations. So they're getting $30 million in donations a year from people. That's a lot of coinage, So I think you have more to fear from those guys than you do the blue hairs.
Main thing is, I know I own a Bible and I can read it, and I don't need to go to any church.
Which one?
That says anything. The one I read.
I'm talking about which Bible.
It's mainly just the King James version.
I'm totally. Anyway, but I'm totally into it because what's happening is that a lot of that stuff is starting to come crashing down as these guys get exposed, and they've caught a couple of people.
That's why you shouldn't believe in the person. You should believe in the message, and the message is in the book. You could stick to the book, ignore the rest.
Yeah,
you
the book
read
is
it
hard
for yourself.
but the book can be hard to figure out. So you're always going to have people. Look, somebody's always going to have to help you interpret.
If you need someone to interpret it for you, then you were starting off in a bad spot.
Okay, all right. We'll have this argument some other time. But I like this. Hold on, but we're going to talk about the Pentecostals. I would love to talk about the Pentecostals. Dislike them. But in any event, Quad, I want to thank you for coming on. I know this was torturous, and but I appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
I really want people to get to know like the Quad behind the Quad. Schmuel thinks Quad is an inspiration. Quad, what are your feelings about black people? We left that out.
I have no problem with anybody. I hate everyone equally, and if you stay away from me and doesn't cause me problems, that'll be just fine. Black, white, Mexican, Indian. We don't really have a lot of black people where I live. We do have a lot of Indians and Mexicans where I live. I don't really have any problems with them. When I go to big cities, do I go to the ghetto? No. So that's what I think about black people. Stay out of their shitty neighborhoods, but I also don't go to the shittiest neighborhoods in my white ass town that I live in. So whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the answer?
Yeah, it's a good answer. I do think you guys, look, It's the thing with Kumia that makes me crazy. That's and stuff
The
like
black
that, which
baiting.
is
I think he's
just
mostly just baiting people into that stuff.
the black baiting is. But what happens is that the more there, there's the moron class that thinks that this isn't baiting, that this is real, you know, and
I mean, I grew up with hardcore, whatever, man. I, you know, I hung out with lots of bikers, and that's the kind of people I grew up around. Like, unless you grew up around those kind of people, you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Hardcore hicks and bikers. That's so you can imagine my thinking kind of aligns with a lot of that stuff. I'm not bashful. I'm not scared to say that or bashful. Is what it is, man.
so
That's
if they
I would you know I would migrate towards that more than I would being a wigger. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people seem to be in the big cities. I'm a hick, dude. I grew up in the forest, and it just is what it is. I'm not afraid to say it.
I just yeah, that's fine.
I'd rather be in the woods, far away from all people. If you want me to be real honest, yeah, animals.
No, it was just
the
earlier
woods,
somebody saying I
better.
grew up in a fishbowl, and I am having been in the Dabbleverse, and I see these guys, and I feel like, have you ever moved out? Like, have you ever had any experience outside of your white town? Like, do you know anybody?
Oh, I've lived in the Bay Area I lived there for a long time. Absolutely. Yeah. It's weird living in a city that I've been in stores like where thousands of people are and been the only white person in there. It's like, you look around, you go, all right, this is a thing, but it's all right. I lived through it.
I ride the subway every day. Now the only thing I'm worried about is if I do get beaten up, it's going to say, elderly man attacked on subway.
Instead of white guy beat up on subway.
Instead of just, man beat up on subway.
Yeah.
AB, let's talk. I'm sorry.
I do agree with the imagine if the races were reversed. You know what I mean? Like as far as your newspaper article example right there. Because if it was the other way around, they would mention the race.
Well,
I hate that kind of shit.
I mean,
I hate that stuff.
I get it, but when you've held power for 300-400 years or whatever,
that's the wrong attitude, in my opinion. I would say like where we were in the 90s when everyone was kind of past all that shit. I kind of blame Obama for bringing some of that shit back. Honestly, I thought we were past all that stuff, and we were like, we voted for the black president. All right, we're all going to move on. No more race talk. And now here we are. It's gotten worse.
I don't think we're ever past it, but I think when Obama got elected, it brought out
we should
brought
just
out
have
a lot of racists.
Yeah.
But AB, let's talk snake handling. So the alternate ending of Mark 16:9. Check it out, AB. You'll like it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Quad.
I don't think I had any more to add.
All right. We'll get oh no, Schmuel has white guilt. I don't have white guilt. I just find it interesting that our view of history is so tainted, by both left and right. But there you go. But I do think that as recently as 15 years ago, it would be tough to get a job if you were black. And now we're saying, but no, you should live a certain way. Or 50 years, we've let people, go this way. I'm 64 years old, and growing up my whole life, it was always like, there was always shit about the black guy and hiring the black guy and whatnot, not positively. So, but we'll get into that one of these days. In any event, thank you very much, Quad. And one day we'll argue about race and go from there. But this was fun. I think people got to know you a little bit better. And, I certainly did, which is the reason why I do the stream. So thanks, dude. All right. And
All right, man.
I will see you. You want to do your plugs, please?
You already did them earlier, but yeah, BYB Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern, at BYB_POD, and Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern, same place.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much, Derek. We'll see you soon.
All right, man.
All right.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
All right. I'm going to get this wrapped up. I like Connor. Buckman should feel guilty. He's the only one old enough to remember slavery. Yes. There we go. Roy Cohen Esquire, a coward. Not sure who the coward is. And I don't have it's not white guilt. I just think whatever. Stevie Lou, holy shit, that was horrific. It could have been worse, but you didn't come on. So there we go, Stevie. Buckman grew up in the crack epidemic. Actually, true. Remember that pretty good. He's always been worried that his I don't even know what you're saying. They're drunken. All right. Sorry. I can't do Roy Cohen Esquire. You didn't read my super chat. I did, Roy. But I'm going back. Look at that. I'm so sorry. Yep, definitely not a racist. Get the fuck out of here. I apologize, Roy. What happened was that showed up in Evmux as a chat. It didn't show up as a super chat. Thank you for the $1.99. Yeah, look, obviously, people have stuff to say, but not when they're asked a direct question or they don't want to get into it. So, I find it hard to believe that somebody is a proud boy. I don't know. I think Gavin's got some pretty goddamn racist views. So there we go. Drunken Donuts. They don't know what they got, Haas. Roy Cohen, you're platforming a racist. Am I? Roy? Which is actually a very good question, right? And I'm happy to discuss that. But that's not been my experience with the guy. Or I should say, my experience with the guy is he hasn't been more racist than most of the people that I've met on here. And I always feel like catching more flies with honey than with vinegar. Like, I don't know. Let them see how wonderful I am. Try to open up their thing. Unbanned Just Any fan. Schmuel only puts up my comments when they're about him ignoring my comments. Very funny. I hadn't read that before I put it up. Good deal. I wear a LL Bean and Polo Vineyard Vines. Does that make me a prep school douche? I don't know. I am wearing. Let's wait for that to go down. Hide. My camera moves when I move. I'm wearing an Amazon shirt. I don't know, broadbend or broadleaf, something. It's like $7, and a neck warmer and Aussie chiller. Shit. Which is actually blue, but I dig the Aussie chiller. Fucking great hats, man. And in the summertime, you can put them, you soak them, get them all wet, and they dry off and keep you cool at the same time. So I like that. All right. Neck warmer. Yeah. I used to have this great accent where I didn't sound like I was from New York, and the older I've gotten, the more New York I sound. But there we go. And KB, I could lend KB my balaclava, or my KB is racist against free chat. KB is racist if it brings in super chats. But there we go. Yeah. Anyway, look, I think we need to have a discussion on here about the racism and misogyny and stuff, but I don't think I'm the guy to do it. And nobody cares. I mean, look, I got people in here. What was it? I think it's this. It's a I can't think of the name. It was an HBO show or one of those shows with Ethan Hawke and Elizabeth Winstead or whatever. And it's just set in Russia, and they have people of different color playing different characters, but they're all Russian. And one of the guys on here just loses his fucking mind every time that happens. And when I say it's acting, it's not real. They lose it. There's a video of KB talking about structural racism angrily with Nick DiPaolo. Thank you, AB, because that was the word that I forgot, was the structural racism, or 2 words. So there we go. Decline host, have you fired Final Boss yet? I can't fire somebody I don't pay, right? Can I? Can I? Although I will say, look, one of the funniest things in the world happened the other day. I have one person blocked, and I will stand by that. But other than that, I don't really block people. I don't really time people out. I have a couple of rules, it's the racism or that shit or whatever. But little did I know that Cigarette Jones still had the mod wrench from before. And Stealth was in the chat the other day, waxing as Stealth does, going on and on and on with his bullshit. And fucking Cigarette Jones, unbeknownst to me, timed him out. And it was the funniest goddamn thing in the world because Stealth lost his fucking mind. And DMs to Schmuel. It was very funny. But thank you to Sam Bibley for figuring that out, because we just thought Stealth lied. And that he said he was timed out when he wasn't. I thought I was just ignoring him. All right. I've been going for 2 hours and 43 minutes. I think it's time to give it up. Thank you guys for being on here. There are 41 of you, which is 41 more than I deserve. And there we go. From the depths of the internet, Stealth Chaos. I never lie. I don't know you well enough to say that, but I had no idea that it was anything but made up. So let me just see here, Frank, because Frank always has like shit to get star here. The best is when Kumia said he blamed some black people for something when he was a kid, and said it must have happened all the time. KB chuckled in disbelief. What do you mean? Of course it did. Oh yeah. It was what's the word I'm looking for? That was like common. That was, you saw the what do you call it? It's the Sopranos thing. It's exactly the same thing. I think maybe that's what somebody else mentioned. Decline. I swear to God he said. I did say that. I told you that. I said it. I told the story on the show. You're not keeping me honest. You didn't make it up. I told you that. I will tell it again some other time. But right now, I am too shot to go into it. I'm a huge fan of Why Is Your Nose Always Dripping? I have no fucking idea. If I stay inside all day long, it doesn't happen. But when I go outside and come back inside, it does. And I don't know, maybe I'm allergic to something. AB, I need to hear that story. Remind me, and I will tell it one of these days. So there we go. Air pollution and allergies. Yes, and I have a doctor who really, really wants me to quit the cigars, which I've been really trying hard to do, claiming that I'm probably allergic to the cigar smoke, and that's what's making them worse. So we can go there. Buckman's wife was one of the hijackers. I wish. No, because then I could have claimed she was in the building. You know, the whole thing. Arm's eyes dry and his nose extra wet. Yeah, I got the wrong ducks doing the wrong thing. So there we go. Drunken Donuts going live Saturday night for more stuff you will hate. I don't know if there's anything more unbearable than that, but AB, I swear like Schmuel, but he dabbles in propaganda. He pretends like KB is the only one who watches clips or how his numbers are down, but doesn't bring up Bob nearly has as much in his 60 views. Frank, this is a war you're fighting. It's not a war I'm fighting, right? When Bob goes around counting everybody else's money and starts claiming he's number one, then we'll look at Bob's numbers. Okay? You with that? You okay with it? Twist KB's wife worked at the Pentagon. I wish she did. She would have been away from that stuff. So here we go. The next scheduled show is Tuesday at 6. But I will probably pop up over the weekend. And AB, for you, I will retell the story of 9/11 and my first marriage. And there was something else that I said I would talk about, but I don't remember what that was. So, but we'll figure that out too. And hold on. Can you do me a favor? Can you get Little Mir on? I'll come on this channel for the first time and challenge him. Drunken Donuts. Yes, the racism thing. Thank you, AB. There's no point in having Mir on. It's like he's not a serious person, and it's just not worth. It's just not worth doing. And Art Bell for the extremely. Let's just try something here, Art. I want to see something. If I up the Kelvin here, does that make them less? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Like I can change the lighting, but I don't. If I go too high, I don't like the look of it. But it certainly makes my lips less red, and it does mess. It changes my color coordination as long. No vapes, no smokes. I don't do vapes, but I do have. I thought I had them on my desk. Nicotine lozenges, and there we go. Have the Sharpie. I always have a pen. I prefer these, which are Pentel sign pens, but they're hard to get, so I've got a boatload of Sharpies. It's okay that you're trying to take AB down. I don't blame you. I don't like a lot of his ways either, but doing it out of loyalty to Dixon and Melton is odd, especially given your age. I'm not trying to take anybody down. I think that's better left to the young. I like giving KB the business. That's it, and it's not out of loyalty to Melton or Dixon. It's just my annoyance at KB. I've never liked guys that have their hand in everybody else's pockets. So there we go. Drunken Donuts. I have not been the one that is hiding. They refuse to give me the channel, and I will never go on another show. Besides, I want to go on against the two of them. They offer me links all the time. Drunken Donuts, if you want me to send you one of it when I get it, I'm happy to do it. Exactly. Schmuel always brings up the money thing, but ignores that Melton started it. Stevie, that's like a stuttering John. They drew first blood, right? Everybody else has moved on from it. Kevin hasn't. And my only point with Kevin, which I stand by, is that year over year, 24, the year 24 to 25 and 25 to 26, he took a 30% hit on Playboard. He made it up everywhere, someplace else, or whatever. Possible. I don't know. But Kevin considers Playboard the gold standard. He took a 30% drop. He had a 30% drop in super chats, and he's been streaming more than ever. So that means that every hour he's streaming is worth less than what it was a year ago. So there we go. And that's it. Right. Guy in Melton's chat called John's Neglected Cat, which was, I don't know, more than a year ago, and it was mostly to keep track of John's neglected cat. So there we go. Don't like figs. All right. Melton made no money before he glommed onto MLC and started covering Steel Toe. Stevie, you're fighting a fucking war that's been over. I don't get it. I mean, I do, like, I love that you're so dedicated to KB, but I mean, you really got to get over it, right? I mean, KB is, super duper guy for paying Ray $9,000. I mean, it's not a lot of money, not a lot of money. Schmuel, can you admit that every Dabbleverse show is different levels of bad? Every show is different levels of bad, right? There are no great shows. We're just what is it? A continuum. Some are much worse, like mine. KB's is significantly much better, but the distance between where our top shows land and the part of the continuum which says perfect is there's a lot of distance. So there we go. You brought up the 30% decrease. Right, but it's a 30% decrease. Right? Kevin's streaming more than ever. Though those are the two things. If you think that's happening to Melton, or if you think that's happening to Shuli, or if you think that's happening to Carl, you do you. I mean, you're welcome to do it. I'm just saying that Kevin is the one that keeps bringing up money, so I'm just looking at it. And Stevie Lou, it's the whole team thing. It's your team, Stevie. You're on the KB team. And what you can't tolerate is anybody who isn't on KB's team not being on another team. It has to be a team thing with you. We're not on teams. Nobody cares. Kevin did it. So I didn't start this. You did, dope. It's not about, you're talking about Melton. I'm talking about KB's money because that's what KB talks about. But you were going back to a couple of years ago with Melton, and he did this and the glomming and everything else. But Stevie, you said you made $50K off Kevin. It turned out you made closer to $15K. So I don't know that you're necessarily the guy that we should be trusting to explain this. Schmuel, when you have Melton on, can I submit a list of questions? I have a great knowledge of his history and a question. Melton is never coming on this show. I mean, I could ask all day, every day, but come on, not gonna happen. I mean, if you guys want to, what do you call it? Get me up to regularly 700 viewers, maybe he'll come on, but highly unlikely. I'm probably always going to be in the sub 100 range. Don't worry about Steve. Let's not talk about his wife. Call him an old man again, Stevie. It's pretty much what. Yeah, it's the same thing over and over again. Come after me for something I can't change or do anything about. I didn't choose to be born when I was born. Schmuel starts talking about money and then says, we're the ones talking about money. do you listen to the Brennan show that you're on? Do you? I mean, does a day go by when he doesn't talk about him making more money than anybody or them not making any money? I mean, Stevie, just, you're having a little bit of an overreaction. So there we go. I'm Team Nice Dancer. Well, we like Ice Dancer. About the money. Kevin talks about the money all the time, right? He's always talking about this one doesn't make money. He's a loser. Blah, blah, blah. Same shit all the time. All right. So I'm not wrong. You said 50K. Kevin said, I think 14.5K. So we got to go with the guy with the notebook. You make the argument a lot of TSN fans went over to Melton as well. I don't know that I've ever made that argument. I didn't say I made 50K. Stevie, watch the video. Watch the video. Watch the show that you were on. Go back and go back and listen to the tape. Where do you think that Kevin came up with you were off by $36,000, right? Did he just pick that out of the air that you didn't say it? Listen to it. You said 50K, Kevin. I don't have to go back, or whatever your name is, Stevie. I don't have to go back and listen to it. And you fuck, you're sending me these read-only DMs. You want to DM me, I got to be able to DM you back. I said nothing about old, you idiot. You kept calling me grandpa, moron. Jesus Christ, Stevie. You were making, whatever. Who cares about 50K? Apparently Liam did, which I thought was very funny. And I'm sure all of the other KB show guys were a little bit upset. You paid 50 Stevie K. I just assumed that it was for other stuff as well, besides just going on the show. But there you go. Kevin was the one that came out and said what your number. You called Quadfather an inspiration tonight, and I'm the one exaggerating. There's an inspirational lilt. I'm not saying as a, look, the guy is paralyzed, jumped into a pool. If that were me, I would have wanted to die, right? The guy's alive. He's doing a show, right? And that's the thing. The guy shows up 3 times a week. Would you? Would I? I don't know. I don't know that I would be able to do that. So there you go. Oh my God. I didn't say I make 50K. You said that you were paid 50K in the time that you've been on Brennan. That's what you said. And looks like a Cobra. Now this is Aussie Chiller. Stevie, really? Stevie, check your blood pressure premium. So unbanned Josh Dennyvan. Quad defeated quadriplegia. Stevie couldn't defeat a 5-foot Asian or a 65-year-old black man. I do believe, in the interest of honesty, that Stevie did defeat Ryan Katsu Rivera. Stevie, instead of saying what you didn't say, why don't you tell us what you did say then? Because everybody in here heard you say you make 50K. Right? Right? AJ, damn fine hat. Damn fine hat if it is. Like I said, Aussie Chiller, it's like $82. They're not really that expensive. And I fucking bought this one and I like it. And my wife told me it was too small, so I bought another one that was an extra large instead of a large. And it's way too fucking big. And I never sent it back. So I have another one of these hats for an extra large head, and it's in a light brown, if anybody would like it. Those weren't my exact words. Okay. The implication was you made 50K. Okay? And 15 and 50 do sound familiar. No. Not in this case. Not enough that Kevin Brennan had to come out and say he was off by $36,000, right? So grandpa can be in their 30s in many communities. Schmuel, you're racist. I don't know why that would make me racist, but yeah, they can. And I know quite a number of them. I have a tape that proves Stevie used to like Schmuel. Stevie really did like me. I think I like Stevie. I gotta be honest. I mean, he picks his fights and whatnot, but Stevie's always been fair with me. I don't know if that's the right word, and he's actually offered me help. So not help necessarily, good advice. Stevie has offered, and he's told me the truth, even when it wasn't necessarily the right thing. All right. This is much better than that trash quad interview. Fighting with the chat needs to be your show. Grow up. I would love to fight with the chat, but I need more super chats in order to do that. To be perfectly honest, I don't want to be a local. I don't want to be John. I don't want to be trading insults for $2. But every time I pay that fucking Evmux bill at the end of the month, I'm like, I'd really like to do this. Kevin Brennan loves me. He's paying me $50,000, and he turns on you and laughs at you and says you're making $14,000 over 4 years. So that was it. Roy Cohen sends Stevie the link. I can't. Stevie has me blocked from sending him DMs. Stevie begged Melton to invite him to Hackamania 1 and then had sour grapes and acts like it didn't happen. Did he? So listen, I got to take a break. Whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'll drop off and come back on because I don't know what my weekend holds. But this is the single most interesting thing to me. What really got me going about into this Kevin Brennan and the money thing was he was giving Ray very little and breaking Ray's balls, and he wanted Ray to be available like every day at 4:00, but there was no guarantee that he was going to use him or not use him. Whatever, doesn't matter. But Ray was a free agent. Kevin was paying him. Pat Dixon was a free agent, and Kevin was paying him when he came on the show. Perfectly decent stuff, no problem. But when Kevin and Ray accepted Hackamania, what's his name? Kevin went fucking ballistic on him. And he had wanted them to ask permission and just all sorts of bullshit. And it's like, you don't own people for a couple of $100. And that's my thing. I don't mind him paying. Grift, how many more minutes does this get us? Just another couple. But if I get it, nice guy Mersh, imagine paying for Evmux. Well, if I was talented as you and had so see, me paying for Evmux means that I don't have to spend as much time doing computer shit, and I get to avoid having annoying. I don't have to deal too much with other people. I get to fail all on my own. And thank you, Roy Cohn, for the $1.99. We'll go a couple of more minutes. Of course, he's a nice guy, but not the sharpest knife in the kitchen. That should say enough. That sort of describes a lot of people, man. A lot. And did Stevie run away? No, I don't think so. But I think what may happen is we may encourage Stevie to go and start its own show, which I think would be cool because I would really like to see. Oh, there he is. Pat Dixon asked KB to give him money for a lawyer. I think, Stevie, you're rewriting history. I think that KB offered to give Pat Dixon money for a lawyer, and I think it's been established that that he did, and that was why Pat came on, and right, but does giving money for a lawyer, and we kind of know the amount, does that mean that Pat is not allowed to perform anyplace else? That because that's what seemingly was going to happen. Pat Dixon point blank asked KB for money to borrow to pay for his lawyer, and Kevin helped him out by paying him as a guest. You should know that's as Pat's bud. All right, well, one, I don't ask Pat about his money, but two, I still don't understand how that keeps, that why should Pat not be allowed to work in other places? Right? I mean, it's like, Stevie, I could lend you money. I'm not going to tell you you can't work. SB, you don't know the history and it shows. KB gave Dixon $5,000 for his lawyer. This is beyond what he paid him for the show. I do believe that they said $1,500, but hey, could be $5,000. I don't know. What am I wrong about, Stevie? It doesn't matter how much money he gave him. He's telling him he can't work, right? That he can't do Melton Show. He can't do Hackamania because he doesn't like Patrick. That's Kevin's reason, right? I mean, come on, right? And then how did Kevin handle it? He had his crazy ex-girlfriend on, so I sort of like when Stevie goes into a weed psychosis. He gets enraged like the Hulk, and he smokes Dro. I like Stevie. Schmuel, if I work for Coke and then take a side job with Pepsi, Coke will fire me. But that's not the same thing, dude. Melton and Dixon Melton and KB are not direct competitors in that sense. Right? The Coke Pepsi logic is that for every soda that Pepsi sells, Coke doesn't sell one, which would then imply that for every super chat Melton gets, Brennan doesn't get one, which is not how this works, right? Brennan's fans and Melton's fans, I think there may be some overlap, but it's definitely a different group of people. So, that's it. I can't read this fucking shit. It's too. Here we go. And let's just see here. All right, guys. Well, your spammer friends. I don't want to call you old again, but Jesus Christ told Stevie, what am I saying that's not right? Like, that's the question. What am I saying? All right, guys. All right. So what's happening here, fellas, is that I know how to handle this. Give me a second, kids. I've boss, I assume that you're here helping me, but I am going to here to here to here to here to here to here to there to there. All right. So it's pretty easy pretty easy. It's, I guess what happens is we say bad things about KB and the Chubbs hit the chat. It's already on. It was already on Subs Final Boss. I had it on subscribers. So that was the deal. So that's why it's members only. So in any event, I think that I should probably wrap it up. And then go. Dr. Chow, you can send Big Hormone the link. That's your big own. Big Hormone. Jesus Christ. It's like a third grade classroom with the nicknames. In any event, kids, yeah, we could do that. That's not actually a bad idea. Thank you, FB. I just what do you call it? I keep fucking up here. Sorry. Da, 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 da. Remind me to tell you of my what do you call it? All right, let's try that. So glad I trigger you before you go to bed. If you only knew how limp you make my trigger. It's so fucking funny. Poor boy. Poor boy. But I give you credit for sticking with the same words and repeating the same shit over and over again. All right. So here's the deal, kids. Oh, fuck. I have to go to work in the morning. I forgot. All right. Well, I guess the good news is at least we know who my father is, huh? But there you go. All right. Anyway, look, everything's back to normal. Thanks everybody for being here. I am going to bail out. And I'm going to bail out. I wanted to look at something here, but I don't know. Oh, all right. There's 37 of you in here. Let's see. We can only do lives. Live. Oh, well, Patrick is on if you all want to go over there. Cardiff is on. We'll do that. All right. Good night, everybody. It's been a blast. And